Hello, everybody. Well, here we are. It's the Monday after 99 hours of wrestling, television, streaming, pay-per-views, PLEs, and I'm with Graham Mirmina of Wrestle Rant, Bleacher Report, and LJ Ruiz, been my co-host before, and we are trying to just digest everything that happened. Now, mind you, we've all been texting back and forth during this weekend, just trying to keep up. But I guess the first thing I would say, Graham, is what was your overall takeaway from this weekend? Like, you tell me. I'm going to let you go first. Were you like wrestled out?
Oh, easily. I mean, like you said, we were texting throughout the weekend. I'm still alive, obviously, evidently, as we're speaking here right now. Barely. I'm not really sure how, but I am. Thankfully, a lot of great wrestling. Listen, I think the bottom line for me, the top takeaway is that there is such thing as too much wrestling. I think we can all agree that wrestling is great. We love wrestling. We're here talking about it, but there is such thing as too much of it. That is primarily WWE's fault for running 3 other shows the same weekend as AEW's equivalent of WrestleMania. They could have absolutely avoided that. If you look at the calendar for next weekend, TNA has their Slammiversary show next Sunday, but that's literally it as far as major promotions. You could have shared the love a little bit, move something to next weekend. But most of the shows were very, very good. Saturday night's main event was kind of, what it was, but Evolution was excellent. All In was great. 2 awesome shows, I thought. It ended up being a pretty, fun weekend overall. Great American Bash was also good.
Yeah, we'll get into all the individual matches in a second. LJ, I was thinking the same thing that Graham is saying. I felt that WWE oversaturated everything. It's just so much. And I don't even know how the wrestlers are keeping up with this schedule. But what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, for me specifically, I was actually at my girlfriend's house this weekend for her sister's birthday. And I was like, hey, I got to be back at this time. And when I was watching the AEW show.
Did you break up in the middle of the wrestling weekend?
I was watching the AEW because she usually just is on her phone and doesn't care. And then we're watching the AEW show. I'm watching NXT on my phone. And then Saturday Night Main Event, I let AEW finish. And then I watched from the beginning because I couldn't do back and forth. And then on Sunday, where I'm like, I gotta be back at 7:00. She's like, oh, there's another one. And so I was like, from an outsider, from her point of view, she was like, I don't understand how you like something this much that you watch this much. She's like, yeah, I love reality TV shows, but I can't watch it for 15 hours in one day. And I was like, we're addicts, and I think we have to just admit that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And I was telling people that were like, call me. I said, I can't talk right now. Like, I can't talk right now.
It was too much. Like, even like
texting me, like the hospital's falling apart. I'm like, I can't talk right now. You know what I mean? Like, it was all these people in like the soaps, and I'm like, I can't really like do this right now. Like, well, what are you doing? I go, I'm watching wrestling, and I got to watch it right now. So is that kind of? I think you just have to devote. You like we're obsessed, so we got to like we.
Yeah, and there was no part of me until like, and even at all, like maybe a little bit towards Saturday Main Event. I was like, I was falling asleep a little bit, but I was like, I need to. It's fun. It's fun to have something to watch and care for. So that's why I like it. That's why I like watching sports so much, because it's always something to look forward to. But definitely, like he said, Graham said, it's the. WWE's motive is to control the narrative, so they controlled it. They definitely controlled it. Let me tell you that.
Yep, they definitely did.
Yeah,
that was. I'm questioning my my life choices as I'm seeing Jon Moxley stab Adam Page with a fork in his forehead at 9:00 at night, and I still have another 2 hours to go. And I've been sitting there since 1 p.m. Eastern time, and then Evolution last night. It was a great show.
I was thinking the same thing because I couldn't. So I thought going into All In. I thought it's going to be 4 hours.
They didn't even start the main event matches by the 4-hour mark.
0 hour. I'm talking about the main card is going to be 4 hours. And I literally went, wow, this is so, because they wanted to run into Saturday night's main event. Like, let's do a run and go over, I thought. I don't know if that was intentional or that's just, they just keep booking.
Oh, they just keep booking
matches, right?
I knew that the show was going to last long when they even though it was a great like moment with the Adam Cole situation, when they let him a guy that's coming out here to just say that he can't wrestle for like 7-8 minutes, I was like, oh, this is gonna go forever.
That moment for me was when the Young Bucks were making their entrance, and it lasted like 10 minutes, and they're doing the whole Founding Fathers thing. I'm like, okay, we gotta hurry this thing up.
Thing was so long. I'm like,
it was a while.
Oh my God, you're gonna go through the whole arena and thing.
You could have ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner during the AEW.
You seriously could have.
I think I did, and I think I ate a lot. I think I gained a lot of weight during it. can I have next? I want to talk about AEW All In because I actually thought it was one of their greatest. I thought it was one of their greatest pay-per-views. I did. And I thought it was great. And I kind of wanted to first get your guys' opinion. So we had the really sad Adam Cole moment. That was really terrible. And did you guys know going into it anything about this? Did you have any idea that he was injured, Graham?
No, I mean, it was obviously advertised up until I think a few hours before the show. I saw the graphic that Tony Khan tweeted out maybe an hour into the pre-show, actually, that the match would be changed because he was supposed to defend the TNT title against Kyle Fletcher, turned into a four-way without Adam Cole. He wrestled on Collision 3 days earlier at the Dynamite taping on Wednesday, and Tony Khan even said during the post-show press conference that he was set to wrestle on Saturday up until Friday night. Then on Saturday morning, they had a discussion. Adam Cole probably came to him not feeling well. They had a conversation, decided he would sit out the show, and they've since realized it was a lot more serious than probably originally anticipated. I think they've since confirmed, too. I think it was Fightful that it's a concussion-related issue, which makes sense because Adam Cole's had concussion-related issues, had brain issues, which we just talked about over text on Saturday. So that made sense. But no, I did not know he was hurt going into it. And I hope he'll be back, but obviously health comes first.
I think it was really bad. Obviously, the thing I sent you guys where he got his head hit from Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah, that was terrible, yeah.
That was terrible. That must have been on a Dynamite. Obviously, it's a Dynamite on the apron, so that was a week prior or something?
It was a few weeks ago. It was about a month ago, I think. But, I mean, the point still stands. Kyle Fletcher should not have done that. I mean, there was an uproar when that move happened, I remember, a few weeks ago. That, I mean, honestly, it could have played a factor into him suffering concussion and having all the issues all these weeks later. But I think it was even a simple lariat during the Collision match that caused it. So it was something pretty basic, although that move that you sent us obviously did not help. That was pretty stupid.
No, and it has to be concussion. You know, obviously he's had the brain problem. I'm sure they basically told him, you cannot wrestle. You could,
sure.
It's
very similar to when I think about like football players that you do become, there's not many injuries that you become prone to. People say you're injury prone, but it's not exactly true. You just have bad luck sometimes. But with concussions, they're extremely prone. Like once you get one, you're going to get another one at some point. And it seems like that's the problem here. And it's very similar to the Kevin Owens situation where he wrestled Cody Rhodes, was advertised for the match against Orton at Mania. And then 2 days later, they're like, listen, this is way more serious than we thought. And very similar to him, we don't exactly know if they're going to ever wrestle again. And that really does suck because they're both extremely good at what they do. So, I definitely have prayers for him. And I really do feel bad that it's just some bad luck that he keeps going through.
You know what made it worse, you guys? And Graham, I wanted to ask you. So the thing that was really sad was, Kyle O'Reilly was there. And so was
Roderick
Strong. And obviously, why were they there? Why would they come out and be there?
Oh, they knew. Yeah, at that point.
They knew, right? Like this could be the end, I guess, that this could possibly be the end. I can't imagine. And this is what I always went through when I was at the WWE and I would see all these guys just like killing themselves to get back on their spot, even though they were so injured. Like, I actually hope he doesn't come back because I don't want him to
serious issue. Yeah.
Well, what did you think? Where I'm going with this is, so then they had to vacate the title. He had to drop the title in the middle of the week. And then we had the four-way match to crown the new TNT champion. And it was Dustin Rhodes. Did you like that moment? Because now we have very emotional, like I thought AEW All In was extremely emotional All In overall because of the Hangman ending. And there was Cole and then there was Dustin. Did that Dustin Rhodes thing resonate for you? Were you touched by that, or like, oh, of course they're going to give it to him? They're in Texas, and like, what was your thought?
I don't know if anyone honestly expected that to happen. I mean, they still went forward with Fletcher in the match as he obviously should have from a storyline standpoint, and we all expected him, I think, to win the championship, and that Guevara and Rhodes were just in there because they're from Texas, even though they just competed on the pre-show right before that. One of them would be an easy person for Fletcher to beat, take the title. And it was incredibly random I was literally like, did they mess up the ending? I mean, that came completely out of nowhere. Dustin Rhodes hasn't really wrestled on AEW television consistently in a few years now, actually. But in retrospect, like soon after it happened, and first of all, you saw him crying with the title too. I'm thinking, you know what? That was the right call because they wanted to do a feel-good moment in light of a really depressing moment. The crowd was completely dead for the four-way. easily the weakest part of the show. But the moment itself, I thought was great. Dustin Rhodes deserves it, and I'm happy with it. He doesn't even have to hold it long. He won it in Texas, and they can.
I think that's the point. He's not going to hold it long. It's just like, let's give him that. It's in Texas. It's a feel good moment. And then what I thought was the only thing that I thought was great was the Von Erichs were there, the kids were there, and his kids are there. Like that family moment. Now, LJ, you were not thrilled with that moment.
I actually, my uncles that Michael knows that I watch wrestling with them. That's who I grew up watching wrestling. They were watching Superman during the first match. So they texted me and said, how's AEW going? And I just sent a screenshot of him winning. And I said, this is how it's going. Because I actually, I understood the moment. I definitely get it when I think about like the fact that when you get these impromptu matches, it's very easy to give the wins to the people that you don't expect. Because you don't have, like you said, they don't have to hold it long. It's for the moment. I was more mad that the crowd didn't seem like they cared either. Like when he won, you thought he would get this pop. They were still dead. Like it was like, oh, he won, and there was no reaction. I thought he would get a way bigger reaction than that. And so when I saw the crowd react like that, I was like, maybe they should have given it to the guy that we all thought should have probably won, which was Fletcher. I personally love Fletcher's one of the guys that I really do like watching wrestling. I think he's great. I think he's going to be extremely big. I think he's huge. But I thought that was the moment to give it to him. But I definitely think we're going to get another, even on the down, he might lose it. So I think it was for that moment.
I have a question, Graham. Why are they like throwing Sammy Guevara under the bus? Like he used to be a winning star that I thought was a fantastic wrestler. Is he just like made so many enemies backstage that they just won't give him anything? I don't even know why they have him there. Like they've literally kind of trashed him. He never wins.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the thing with Guevara is that he was in the match. He was certainly, existing in the match. Daniel Garcia, I think, is talented. I like Dustin Rhodes. I agree with LJ. Fletcher is an absolute fucking star. I mean, I can't wait for him to win the title. And I mean, he's honestly bound for even bigger and better things beyond the TNT title.
Even though he messed up Adam Cole, you're still with Team Fletcher.
Oh yeah, I'm still I'm still team Kyle Fletcher, even though
he literally killed a guy. Okay, good.
Yeah, literally almost killed the guy, but listen, mistakes happen. I'll turn a blind eye to it.
All right.
Sammy Guevara, I just at this point, good wrestler. I just don't care. I'm sorry. He's been there since day one.
But they made us not care.
They made us not care, but also just he seems like a nice guy to be. I don't know him personally. I don't know. I just go off of what I've seen in social media and how they presented him on the show, and he just rubs a lot of people the wrong way. Just he seems like first of all, he should be a heel. He seems like a much better heel than a babyface. And second of all, I don't know. He's just been there. I just don't care about Sammy Guevara. They have much better wrestlers than him, much better talkers than him. I'm just kind of moved on from this Sammy Guevara. This is a guy that was one of the four, not horsemen. What do they call them? The pillars or whatever of AEW?
The 4 pillars.
Kyle Fletcher took that pillar right away from Guevara, and he's not getting it back. I'm sorry.
Oh, Double C says Sammy should go to NXT. Would they even take him?
I'm sure they would take him, but
I'm sure they take everybody. So I don't know.
Seriously.
It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. I actually texted Michael. I said it doesn't seem like when we saw to not go move forward, but when we saw Vicky Guerrero on the show, I was like, it seems like they don't care about anything in the past anymore. And that's just
I was gonna say. I had this happy vision of what I saw at Evolution last night, and now it was tainted again because you reminded me that Vicky Guerrero was there. She showed up, and it
also reminds me of and I said this to my friend. It reminds me of from the generation that I watched. Like that was one of the worst periods of wrestling of my life. So that her face is that.
Oh yeah,
those times of watching it, we're like, wow, I don't even know why I'm watching this anymore. Like that was the period.
It was such a low. It was
probably the lowest they've ever had. Honestly, that's probably the lowest they've ever had in a while.
Yeah.
So we had Mercedes Mone and Toni Storm, which was, can we just say, I think Mercedes is a great wrestler. I truly believe that. And the reason I say that is she really owned her craft in Japan. She really went and worked. I think she's a great wrestler. Like if you take away all the gunk of her lines and things she spews out, she's really good. And the Toni Storm thing is just off the chart. It's just so fun. What I thought was going to happen, that Luther was going to swerve on Toni.
Oh, okay.
That's what I had in my head. I still think that's coming. At some point, he has to turn on her. But what did you think of the match, Graham? Instant classic, or how did you leave? How'd you feel?
I thought it was a great match. Listen, I agree. I'm not really the biggest Sasha Banks fan or Mercedes Mone or whatever you want to call her. I think she's an an excellent wrestler, and her run at AEW kind of got off to a rough start with some of the matches she was having. The Britt Baker match last year, I mean, this was an infinite improvement over that. That goes without saying, obviously. But, you know, her promos aren't my favorite or as a character either. But in the ring, she gets the job done. She's had some fantastic matches in the last year alone as the TNT champion. Now in this match, vying for the world title. Great match. My favorite part about it was the outcome, because I honestly thought that I was convinced Mercedes would win.
Me too.
Defeated up to this point, and then she lost. So
that was my favorite part too. I was convinced there's no way she's not winning.
Yeah, and then she lost. So I mean, I don't know if they'll continue it. Athena's got the contract now, the Casino Gauntlet contract or whatever. So I was really happy. I think the match was great. Mercedes, I give her a lot of credit for being as good as she is. Toni, obviously, is one of the hottest things, not only in women's wrestling, but really just in general in either company right now. She's killing it and continues to kill it, even though she's been doing this character for 2 years and people are still super into it, which is a testament to the talent that Toni Storm is.
I agree.
Yeah, really, really good match.
LJ, thoughts?
Yeah, Michael knows I was a huge, like, I even had the Sasha Banks like shirt and everything. I thought like my sister was
I like Sasha Banks too. I did
Halloween and stuff, and then like I was pissed when all that went down with WWE, and I wanted her to stay there or come back there. I thought there was a chance she would, and then I liked her stuff she was doing in Japan a lot more than what she was doing, like he said, in AEW in the beginning. This was definitely her best match, like not even close. It was definitely her best match by far, and I definitely liked that they gave the person that's been there for a lot longer and doing the work for a lot longer in AEW the win. I thought that was the smartest decision.
Mm-hmm.
I was definitely shocked. I thought it was a little weird not weird. I just thought I was definitely surprised by how much more offense Toni Storm got in. Like, it didn't seem like Mercedes Mone was ever going to win that match towards the end. I was like, oh, she's losing. Like, this is like that's kind of the way they're going with this. And
do you guys think it lived up to the hype? Because it was a big time match for them.
Well, once the entrances were great, and yep. Sasha Banks, Mercedes Mone had the best. Well, the other one was Kenny Omega had a good one too, but I thought her entrance was really cool with the cheerleaders with the belts on. That was a cool.
The robe too with all the names on it.
It was great. But once she didn't come down to the ring. Once she didn't come down to the ring with all the championships, I was like, she might lose this one, because I thought she would want them all at the same time.
I have to bring this up. I laugh so hard. That robe caused her trouble. She was trying to get the robe out. It was getting stuck. It was so long. She was walking her down.
I think the cameraman stepped on it at one point.
Something. It was stuck and she couldn't move it. And I didn't think they got the shot of the names like they should have. I know.
I was trying to like read them, but it was like
what am I supposed to take away from this is the thing. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think, obviously I thought Mercedes was going to win because she's won every belt, right? Wasn't it the point? She was racking up all the belts. So I don't know where they go from here.
It's a lose-lose. I mean, I think the match was great, but honestly, from the moment it was announced, the Double or Nothing, when she won the Women's Owen Hart Cup, I thought this is a lose-lose, because you have Toni Storm win, which I'm glad they did, honestly. For me, that's the lesser of two evils here, but you have her win. Mercedes suffers her first loss to someone who doesn't need it. I mean, Toni Storm is obviously the most established woman in that company. She doesn't benefit from handing Mercedes her first loss. She also just beat the TNT champion, so does she get a TNT title shot? And then if Mercedes wins, she has all these championships that she doesn't know what to do with. The TNT title should be her primary focus. She's held that for over a year now. So, I mean, would she just up and vacate that if she won the women's championship on Saturday? That would have been even worse. So I didn't really even honestly like the idea of the match. I would have rather have been Jamie Hayter in that spot instead.
What is going on with Jamie Hayter? They've thrown her under the bus.
Well, to be fair, I think she got hurt again. So against Mercedes, I think.
Yeah. Okay. MJF wins the Casino Gauntlet. Is this a surprise? And I don't like this hurt business thing with the guys. And we hurt people. I don't know if it's supposed to be funny, like the Jewish guy with the black. Like, I don't know what the joke is. It's just not hitting me. Right. As a Jewish person, I don't get it. Like, I'm just like, what are we doing? Do you like that?
I like MJF.
I do too.
It's more of a scenario where I think they're in this, like, it was like they sat in the room and were like, all right, we don't necessarily know what to do with him exactly yet. And someone was like, oh, why don't we just, like, as a joke, they're like, oh, let's put him with the Hurt Business. And they were like, you know what, we're doing that. And I know that MJF probably loves it. So
I bet he came up with it. I bet MJF said, it'll be funny. Let me go with the Hurt Business. Mm-hmm. I think that, I'm sure it was his I do think he had something
It
to
just
do
still
with that.
feels so, because like you said, like MJF still gets cheered, so it's like it still feels so unnatural for him to like not be a full heel where he's like the MJF that we all know. So it's still hard for me to like enjoy what he's doing when he's not giving us those promos that we know that he does. It's like the gimmick, the comedy character doesn't really work well for me, and that's my problem with MJF.
What do you think? Are you obviously he was going to win this because I think they've kind of buried him recently, so they got to elevate him.
And do we know if I'm not sure because I didn't get to watch the press conference because I immediately went to Sunday main event. Is this like a Money in the Bank style thing, or is it like a thing where they get to just say they're having a match and then they have the match, or do they get to cash it in?
I think Tony Khan said he would determine that. Someone asked him that, and then he was like, he didn't say, I don't know. I don't want to say he said he didn't know, but he was like, yeah, we'll figure it out, basically. And I'm like, brother, how do you not know? Like, is he just saying that because they'll talk about it on Wednesday, but then why would they not make that clear?
But in the past, when they have when MJF had when he cashed in the
the chip or something?
The chip. It was like a Money in the Bank situation. So that's why it's a little confusing because they have two.
By the way, on that note, you guys, what a ridiculous thing that the announcer said during the gauntlet. I don't know how this works. They come in whenever they come in. It was like every five, like they weren't like, I was like, wait a minute, it's not like, a Royal Rumble. I'm confused. They're like, there's no telling when anyone's going to come in. It just comes in, right? So it was like, is it every 5-minute interviews? They literally said, we don't know when anyone's come. What kind of rules is that?
It was bad. Listen, the Casino Gauntlet, before we talk about the MJ, I know we were just discussing
Sorry,
the MJ. No, it's fine. But the matches themselves, I think this is worth bringing up. I love the concept. It's a very fun concept. We've never seen anything else like it. It is like a Rumble, but it's not, it's one elimination, and it could be over within the first two people that are in the match. That'll very likely never happen because Tony Khan loves having 30 people in the ring at one time. But I think the concept may have jumped the shark on Saturday. Both matches I thought were good. The men's one went like 35 minutes. That was ridiculous. I mean, I was waiting for something big, and then we got Juice Robinson, and like, oh, okay. And then like there was.
By the way, I didn't even know when they said that. I was like, wait, because he doesn't look anything like he looked, right?
Yeah, so he looked like Bo Dallas from 10 years ago.
It's just very similar. Like people got so mad, if you guys remember, when Lesnar just came into the Money in the Bank match and then won, even though he wasn't in the match from the beginning. Yeah. But that's literally what this entire concept is that the third person can come in when both guys get hit with a finisher and then pin the guy and it's over. But so that's the only problem I have with like.
I had a problem because it was hard to like if you don't know. You're like, what am I watching?
It looks like these guys are just running into the match and costing the first two guys that were in the ring the match. So it's like, are they in the match or not? But we know because we watch.
Sure,
we're like I said, we're addicts, so we know what's going on. But
Graham,
a lot of natural viewers probably don't.
But Graham, so what did you think of how it played out?
So the thing is with the match itself, though, I think it's exciting. I mean, honestly, because I was watching with other people that don't watch AEW, and I was like, all right, first pinfall wins. People just show up. And they're like, okay, so that's simple enough to follow. My issue goes along with what you were just saying, Michael, as far as like the intervals didn't make sense. I mean, in the women's match, for one thing, there was a lot of interference, but whatever. But like, they had the last entrant come in. I forgot who the last woman came in, but it was like 5 to 7 minutes before the match even ended. Like, are they just stopping bringing out women? And like, did they cap it off at 10 or something? I'm like, what is going on?
I was thinking they're literally backstage and go now. You go now.
Yeah, it was just
like, what was the plan?
Yeah, they really should have made it a tighter match. They had some people in there. I'm like, okay, this person's clearly not winning. That was like, okay, maybe let's do less of these matches because if you do more of them, it overexposes it. They don't really make sense. When you have the commentators literally out there saying we don't know what the rules are, that might be a problem, first of all. But as far as the MJF win, I liked it. I thought, honestly, because he was out there as number 2 with Mark Briscoe, I thought actually Ricochet might win because he's not really doing much right now either. But MJF winning makes sense. He's been away from the world title picture for so long that I'm glad that he won, and he makes sense to have like the briefcase, contract chip, like LJ was saying too. But at the same time, if you look at like what he's done in the last year, there's almost no direction there. He's had maybe 5 or 6 different feuds, from the Will Ospreay thing, which was great. Then he moved on to Daniel Garcia, which he beat him and they never went back to that. And then the Adam Cole thing, they ran back again. That kind of sucked. And then he moved on to Adam Page, which was great. And then he was working with, I think the Hurt Syndicate thing happened, but he was off like a few different pay-per-views. And to your guys' point, like from a storyline standpoint, why would he want to join them? And maybe there's an answer to that we just don't know yet. But he won the contract without the Hurt Syndicate. Like the Hurt Syndicate didn't help him get the contract. He did that on his own. So there really is no point to him being in the group other than him just wanting to be there, which is kind of weird. Why would they even want him?
I mean, and the other thing about this is they made such a point of after he was like a face, he was a face and everyone loved him.
Yeah.
They had him destroy Daniel Garcia and turn heel again, kind of for no reason. The only thing in my head, and I don't know if they're going to do this, would be the Hurt Syndicate turns on him and people are like, oh no, MJF. So are we going back? Like, I don't think they know what they're doing.
No, I think it's a case of what you guys were talking about to the effect of like, he loves MVP in real life. He's made that quite clear. I think he wanted to work with MVP, but they didn't really have an end game for this angle. I mean, again, we'll see where it goes. It's not over yet, so we'll see where it goes. But I think he just wanted to work with MVP, and he also wanted to work with Mark Briscoe. It's a fine feud to do, and I like Mark Briscoe a lot, but he's a glorified mid-card guy. I mean, that's not benefiting. This is the same MJF that was working with the top-tier talent. You know, the Samoa Joes when he was the world champion. I want to see him and Swerve at some point. Adam Cole when he was a top guy. Adam Page, even that was a great use of MJF earlier this year. And now he's doing mid-card shit. I'm like, what are we doing here? It feels like a complete waste of what MJF could be doing. At least he won the contract though, so he could end up back in the main event soon.
There's hope. I just don't know what they're gonna do with him in the Hurt business.
Yeah.
Okay, we kind of touched upon it earlier, but I want to get into this Young Bucks, the founding fathers floating in the arena, and Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. LJ, what did you think of everyone's opening entrance and then when we finally got to the match?
I mean, yeah, you literally could have taken a nap and woken up and the match wouldn't have started yet.
We could have taken an hour out of the show right there.
But I'm a sucker for entrances. I thought they were good. They were definitely long, but it was like, please just get to the ring already.
Wait, question. I'm sorry to interrupt you. This JoJo singer lady.
Yes.
Wasn't she with WWE?
Yeah, that's Bray Wyatt's widow.
Isn't that why I was so like, oh my God?
Mm-hmm. That was awesome. I love that. Yeah.
I thought it was great. No. I liked Swerve's. I loved Swerve and I love Ospreay's entrance. This is my favorite.
Yeah.
I love those. I'm just saying. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, the match was great. I'm not gonna say the match wasn't good. It was a good match. We've talked about it before. I'm just not for the I knew that when I go into this match, I'm gonna see super kicks that don't get sold. I'm gonna see destroyers that they pop right up and kick him right in the face right after. So I already prepared myself for that. That's why I wasn't too mad watching it, because you know it's gonna happen every single time. But the match was good. I thought that the little sequence they had where they were moving around like they were in fast forward was pretty cool. Like they do work really well. They had great chemistry together, all four of them. That's probably the four, like if you had to say the top 8 wrestlers in AEW, those are those 4 people. And like I've said, I was a huge Swerve fan, and when he was in the WWE, and probably wouldn't have been as big as he was there. And he still is him and Toni Storm are probably the 2 biggest transformations that it benefited from. Two companies.
Sure.
It was really cool to see them get the win. I thought they definitely should have won. That was the smart decision. I'm glad to see them giving these people the wins, because they used to just win everything for the first 4 years of AEW. So I enjoyed it. I thought the whole EVP thing was weird because it doesn't actually change anything. So I don't really know why that was even.
That was the thing. Like, what happens now?
Like, if you go on the web, someone posted it. I don't know if it was true or not, but if you go on the website, it says that someone made a joke that now they're EVPs, which was pretty funny. So I thought that was kind of funny.
It should be like, if we lose the EVPs, then Will Ospreay.
Now they get to make decisions. But that's why, I've never enjoyed the scenarios, because they've done it a couple of times, the stipulations of where they incorporate them creating the company into the storyline. Like, we get it. We already know they created AEW. So we don't have to keep reminding us that they're the EVPs. We know, a lot of people know it already. So I don't really get the point of bringing that up and making that a thing in the match when they should just have the match.
Graham, what do you think of the match?
Well, no, first of all, I agree completely with LJ. I just feel like they should have moved on from that a while ago. Not only just the fact that it's obvious that they run the company, but it is so far, in my opinion, in the last year and a half, made for just terrible television. I mean, the whole Elite thing has been complete garbage. It was just like when they took out Tony Khan, and that didn't really go anywhere. The group was just that whole thing in the last year has been terrible.
And the fact that they ended up aligning with the Death Rider, it was like, what is going on? And I don't care.
No. They just wanted to add more stakes to the whole Death Riders thing, and I get it, but it just has not made for great television. So I'm glad hopefully that's over. Their characters have been kind of channel changing worthy for a while now. But in the ring, when the bell rings, there's no denying their talent. You get the usual shtick, like LJ was saying, of all the no selling and the constant kickouts, and I get it. It was ridiculous, but the match was great. I won't deny that. Their opponents are awesome, that being Swerve and Ospreay. They're two of the top talents in that company. I was worried there for a second. They might have the Bucks win and have Swerve and Ospreay feud with each other over the fact that, we can't challenge for the title for a year. But it's like, that only gets you so far. That is an interesting stipulation. But Ospreay himself, a lot of us already expected him to be winning the belt by this year's All In, let alone by next year. And maybe they will wait till next year. But I'm glad they won.
Here's what I think. And I was trying to put this because to me, I thought Ospreay was going to be the guy. I thought that's where this was going.
Sure.
Or coming in. But I think once they could not book London to have All In and it got changed to Texas, they're like, oh, Hangman, Texas, let's move Will to next year. That's where I think they're going. I think by next All In, which is back in London, they're going to give it to Will because he's in his home country. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Because if that's not what they're doing, what are they doing with him?
Yeah, because I think Will should have everything.
I think Will's the greatest wrestler there is.
Definitely.
I think he's the greatest wrestler.
Yeah. I'm glad they finished the Hangman story first because I would have been completely content if it was Will Ospreay taking the title from Moxley, but with the way the Page character has kind of taken off this year, he was obviously already established and over and whatever, but like his character arc is far and away the best in the entire company. And they struck upon gold with that whole thing, and he had to be the one to beat him. After he won the Owen Hart Cup, I honestly thought he was losing. Jon Moxley was my pick to win here because I'm thinking they've put us through enough torture with this Death Riders just crap that I thought they would continue it going into Forbidden Door with Ospreay challenging for the title there and also losing there. Listen, I like Darby.
Understand the amount of television hours I was wanting to turn my stomach with the Death Riders.
You know how many brain cells they've lost from this crap? It's just.
We're jumping ahead, but what were they thinking with this group? They're not the NWO. Like, what do they think they're doing? Why were they in a truck? I don't understand.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff made no sense.
What was their point? Yeah. Before we get to that match, do you believe that Kenny Omega and Okada was a classic? How do you feel about that match?
LJ, you could start.
Yeah, I actually was very underwhelmed. I was
Me too.
Like, extremely underwhelmed. That match ended and I was like, that kind of sucked. Like, I'm just gonna be totally honest. Like I didn't get any moment where I was like, oh my God. Like I just sat there and I was like, I said,
I did this. I think
it could possibly be because we were already 6 hours in and I was already tired of the match. And maybe that's probably part of it. But in-ring work, not saying they weren't great, but like it was very similar to a lot of the other Kenny Omega matches and that we watch. And it's very, I don't think there's much variation in the types of the way the matches go. I was very underwhelmed. And if we talk about the winner, I honestly didn't really care who won. If I'm just being honest, I didn't think it benefited. I think it just benefited them both, and it was a nod, and it was like, all right, he won. Let's get this over with.
Graham,
I really enjoyed the match. I'm not going to sit here and say it was their best match at all. No, I completely understand being underwhelmed by it, though. Honestly, especially compared to their other matches, their other instant classics, which are regarded as like legitimately the greatest matches of all time in the last decade alone, if not ever.
Right.
I know circumstances were what they were, but I almost kind of wish they had done this match sooner. And I'm not saying in like March. I'm talking about like a year or two ago. And again, Omega got hurt. Okada wasn't here. I get it. But it would have been nice if they had done it when Omega was a little bit younger, just because the guy can still go. I'm not going to sit here and say he's a 58-year-old Goldberg and whatever, but they're a lot older than they were even then from their last match 7 years ago, which is a big difference when Omega's been hurt as often as he has been and as much as he has been in the last 7 years. And Okada really hasn't lit the world on fire in the ring. And he's had some great matches in AEW, but not in the same way I thought he would when he came into the company a year and a half ago. So I enjoyed the match. I thought Omega was winning. I was shocked when Okada won, but like LJ said, it didn't really matter, honestly, who won. They kind of are benefited both from this equally. And we'll see if they do a rematch, maybe make it, improve upon it and redeem themselves from a match that a lot of people thought was good, but not great. We'll see what they do with it. I enjoyed it for what it was, though. And I could have done without the bullshit interference down the stretch. Though, from the Don Callis family, I could have done without that crap.
What I want to know is, it seems like Tony Khan feels like, oh, I've got Okada. I've got to make sure he has like, he seems to not move away from Okada not holding a title. Like, he wants him to hold a title. I think he's like, this is my, because he's so upset. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I was okay with it. I was kind of like, a bit checked out during it. And I really want Kenny Omega to retire.
Wow, that's a hot take right there, Mike.
I do. I do. It's like,
just throw that in there. Like, we're just like, well, damn. Like, okay.
I mean, listen, half his intestines aren't there. Like, why are you?
That's gonna be the clip right there. It's gonna be. I enjoyed the match, but he needs to retire.
Yeah, fuck Kenny Omega. Like, whoa, Mike.
I do know that Michael loves Don Callis. That's his favorite guy in the whole roster.
I could buy that.
I do not like Don Callis, but I thought I'm just like, why is Okada always winning?
I mean, he's great. It's just the fact that I've been kind of underwhelmed overall with the Okada thing as far as the output of matches that he's been having. I don't know. It's definitely the booking. Honestly, I feel like the Elite thing was cool at first because it's like, oh, he's a heel, because he's been a babyface in New Japan for so long. That's interesting. And he has history with the Bucks. I get it. But then the Elite thing, like I said, sucked. So that didn't really help. And then there's no development there. He's just out there, bitch, flipping people off. Like, I don't care about that. It's not entertaining. It's not interesting. People get a chuckle out of it. He's like a comedy guy. He should just be out there having quality matches, like banger matches like he was having in Japan. Where is that Okada from New Japan? We kind of saw a little bit of it on Saturday, but clearly not enough if you guys are calling the match underwhelming, which I understand. So it was classic. Go ahead.
It could be. I was like, what? I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I do agree with what you said about I think part of it that I didn't even really realize till you said it was the whole Don Callis thing. It just I know when I tune into Monday Night Raw and they're advertising Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton, I know I'm getting some type of interference. Like I'm already okay with it. Like I don't need to see that in AEW either. Like it just doesn't. It's not needed. It just sucks that I feel like nowadays, and I don't know if it's the booking or if they're worried to make guys look less than them, or if it's the guys themselves saying I'm not losing clean, but. It's really annoying that in every promotion, I feel like most matches are ending in some type of interference. And it's like we've become so numb to it. Every single match has a run-in. Every single one. It doesn't matter what company you're watching. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I think they think we've got to load it up. We've got to load it up. We got to run everybody in. Like, it's just everything.
Yeah, well, I think like LJ said, I think a part of it is for both companies really, but they're like, we got to protect this person. No, you don't have to protect it. It's Kenny Omega. The guy can lose clean to Okada. He's not losing to friggin' Rocky Romero. Like, he can lose. It's okay. Don Callis isn't even aligned. He's aligned with Okada now, but Okada wasn't even a member of the freaking group. Why was he even out there? Like, that's my point. Like, they should not have even had him. Like, I completely agree. That was a completely unnecessary addition to this match.
I also just get a little blinded by the fact that, like, their whole thing is like, oh, he pulled the referee out and he didn't see what happened when he literally kicked him on the floor. So I don't understand.
Oh, the referees are terrible. I mean,
that's why I just don't get, like, it's like, I have to forget that they didn't see that. Like, they didn't feel him kick him on the floor.
Are the referees dumber in AEW or WWE?
No, they're dumber in AEW. That's been the case
in AEW, which is pretty bad because they're really dumb in WWE, but they're really bad in AEW.
Yes.
Okay. So we have, which is going to be eventually the reuniting of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was really interesting because how were they going to get Christian back out of this? His hatred, putrid story in evilness. What did you think of the patriarchy turning on Christian and how that all played itself out? Graham, what did you think?
I thought it played out really, really well. The tag team match, I thought it was really well done. The tag match itself was good. Could have happened on any average Dynamite, to be honest with you. Nothing really worth remembering or discussing there. But the post-match angle I thought was perfectly well done. And it wasn't really all that random either because they have teased tension between Christian and Nick Wayne subtly for a long time now, for many months specifically. So it's not like they just turned on him out of nowhere. And then FTR being out there also made sense because they want the tag titles, but they also have history with they want the tag titles, but they also have history with Edge, who came out, Cope, whatever you want to call him. And, Cope's out there to really get revenge on FTR, not necessarily to save Christian, but he does have a soft spot for Christian. And then they played off on what Christian said to him a year and a half ago with the go F yourself thing. And then he said, go find yourself instead. And it's not like they're out there just, hugging and making out and like they're just completely good best friends again. You know what I mean? They're going to take their time, hopefully reuniting. And then they do the tag team match with FTR, probably at All Out in Toronto in September. So I thought this played out really, really well.
I agree with you. What I loved about it wasn't like, let's hug it out. I'm so glad he goes, go find yourself and flick the mic and left. If it had just been like, yay.
That would have been way too sudden.
Really annoyed.
He tried to kill him. I mean, you got to give it time.
I'm just upset. Will this be the last? What about Mama Wayne? Are we going to
Mama Wayne is bye-bye. Sorry.
Mama Wayne's bye-bye. LJ, what do you think? Were you happy to see
very, very similar thoughts. I the match was whatever, but I really much enjoyed that it wasn't just hugging and it's over with. I like that they have these. They can't just forget everything. So I enjoyed that. It's very. I think that's the smart thing to do. I think that even though we said it's annoying that we have to get these 50-year-olds the main part of the show, but I would like an Edge and Christian reunion. So I don't mind it. I like the Hardy Boys still, so I can't say anything.
I wanted to say to you, did you watch how this went down? He's literally being destroyed in the ring, Christian.
Oh yeah.
Edge comes out. Yay! So instead of running to the ring, he's first going to go to the right side and go, "Here I am," and run to the other. It's like, wouldn't you run?
Yeah, it's very AEW. They've done that a couple of times. Jeff Hardy,
baby.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy's dancing and vibing down the thing as these guys are getting smoked. He easily could have just hit him with the chair and been out before he got down there, but it's I can't do it.
Graham, LJ's favorite is Jeff Hardy.
Are you trying to say that as a slight? Because I think I love the Hardy Boys.
No, he's great. One of LJ's favorites is Jeff Hardy. I think Jeff's great too.
Yeah, okay, I thought you were his favorite's Jeff Hardy. We're trying to bury LJ here. No, I love Jeff Hardy.
No, he's great.
No, he just says that because if Jeff Hardy were to come out and beat John Cena tomorrow, I would have no problems with it. So
okay.
It's one of those. Yeah, I do not care.
Around the ballpark, Okada should be a top guy. Feel he's presented as a guy and not the guy.
I agree.
He
doesn't feel as special as he should. Totally agree.
That's what I think. It's here's Okada, and he should be the big deal. But they give him belts, right?
Definitely.
Okay, so now we have the main event. We have Jon Moxley and Hangman Adam Page. I thought this was a great match. And all I wanted was Page to win because he's my favorite, as you guys know. He's my absolute favorite in AEW. So, okay, Graham, what do you think of this messy match?
I thought it was great. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a Texas Deathmatch hardcore wrestling fan because I'm not. The fork stuff, not a fan of it. But listen, it's Texas Death. I don't know what anyone else would have expected, but that they do these matches on the regular, which is the problem for me because they do them so often that some of the spots that they do don't really mean as much as they should. But when it makes sense to do it, and it made sense to do it here because it was the culmination of this year-long story with these guys, I was totally cool with it. And it made for an awesome match. This was their equivalent of Cody and Roman from last year's WrestleMania. This was their Avengers Endgame of AEW with Darby coming out, Swerve and Adam Page making up, not really, but, kind of helping Adam Page win. Danielson returning and helping Page win. All of that was great. I thought it was awesome. I thought all of that was perfectly executed and made for a really awesome moment. Adam Page needed to win here. If he lost here, it would have been, I don't want to say the nail in the coffin, but it would have done a lot of damage to AEW. He needed to win this match.
Great moment.
Yeah, it was awesome. One of the best moments in AEW history.
One of the most moments in AEW history. I thought it was phenomenal. And Adam's, as I said, always been my favorite guy in AEW. And I wanted him to do this. But the funny thing was, I'm on with Graham, and I said, "Here comes Darby."
I said Sting, and you were like, "Oh no, I forgot about Sting." Sting didn't show up, obviously, but you were hoping for Sting.
But I felt like Darby would come down, and then we got Danielson because I thought he would put the plastic bag over Moxley, which is what I was hoping.
There's still time for that.
I wanted him to gag him out. LJ, what'd you think of the match?
No, it's hard for me to get through the blood and stuff. Not that I don't like the blood. I just like when blood is used as it's used to make a point. It's what's happening, especially obviously what's happening in these matches, but like Jon Moxley could be in a match like a pillow fight and he'd be bleeding somehow. So that's why like it doesn't do much for me after I'm watching.
Moxley always bleeds. We agree. You can just touch the forehead and he bleeds. So
So but I definitely like it was what had to be done. Adam Page had to beat him at his own game, which is basically what he did. Like you said, very similar to the Cody Rhodes finish the story. A part of me was like, I really wonder what happens if Moxley wins this match. Like a part of me was so intrigued to see if they just keep it going forever and it just never ends and we never get to see the title ever again. I did like how people pointed out that the side plates are still Danielson because they haven't touched it, which is a really cool thing. And that's something that you have to do. It's kind of cool that we get to see like now we're excited to go look at AEW and see what he does next. So I have no complaints about this match. I thought it was great. I guess the run-ins made sense. There was nothing that really didn't make sense besides like.
I actually thought from a story perspective, because we've always talked about it, you guys, about how AEW doesn't know how to build a story, which is their biggest flaw most of the time. But with this match, from a writing perspective, it really made sense. Mm-hmm. They had I thought it was really laid out, especially when the run-ins started happening. I wasn't like, ugh. And then the swerve, handing him that was the, right. If you're a writer, you're like, oh, what can I do? Like, should I have swerve? Give him the chain or not the chain or, and he's the guy that he had the feud with. I thought that was all.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed the way it ended with like Moxley portrayed himself. Like it's not easy to portray yourself as like to make yourself look like a coward, like as a bad guy was what he was trying to like make himself look like and then tapping out and all that stuff. But this was Moxley's best work he's done in a really long time. Like I enjoyed himself as a character, not the whole Death Riders thing. I just liked what he was doing. Definitely cool. Like when you think about it, the fact that like, how long did the Shield start? Like over 10 years ago. And the culminations of their two Manias versions of it were the two Shield members, which I thought was a really cool thing. And they're still going and still the main focal point of all these shows. So it's pretty cool to see that these guys are still going.
I thought when he got the chain around his neck, I did think it really was the portrayal of good versus evil in that moment. He was, and Moxley was like, it was like putting out the devil, like getting rid of him. And I really thought this was executed really well. It's all I can take from a story point. But then Hangman was great. And then in the post show, what was really strange was when they were talking to Hangman, he was like, yeah, I realized I love these Texas Death Match. When I did my first one, I kind of got off on it. And I'm smelling the blood. I'm like, what is going on? Now he's like really into him. Because I thought originally he was just the school teacher guy. Like the really good school teacher guy from Virginia and everyone's good guy. Do you see him, Graham, having a long reign?
It's hard to say. Honestly, I have no idea where they go from here. As far as like how they map this thing out, how long he holds on to the championship for, who he loses it to. We know MJF is in position of the contract so that he can cash in at any time to take that title from Adam Page. But I don't know. I mean, he last held the championship for, I think, 6 months when he held it from 2021 to 2022 before he lost it to Punk. So probably around there. I hope they just give him enough stories to bridge the gap.
Favorite reign of anybody was I loved Adam Page's reign as the champ, and then I thought
he had a good run. Yeah, I thought he had a good run. So I don't know. I'm not really sure where. I hope they do give him a longish run. I mean, listen, Jon Moxley, that was like the reign of terror with him as champion for 9 months. Just give me a babyface champion for a little bit, and then we can move on to MJF or whoever. I mean, they have to start building up other people too. Talk about Moxley, MJF, Adam Page, Darby even. I mean, Darby's a newer guy as far as the world title is concerned because he's never held it. But we need more fresher faces in the title scene. Like, like when Swerve won it last year, he was a fresh face in the title scene. We need more people like that as opposed to just relying on the Moxleys and the Pages. So that's another thing they should keep.
I'm not a Moxley fan. You are, LJ, right? I just don't like him.
I didn't like him in not in the Shield. I think like as Dean Ambrose, he sucked, and that's just my opinion. It just never worked. It just felt so fake. It didn't make any sense. But it's also, like we said, it was also during one of the worst periods of time of wrestling. Like that 2015, 2014 to like 2018 was really bad. So I also don't know if maybe he would have been better off now. But I'm also just intrigued to what he does. I'm sure he'll take some time off, and I don't know what his character is going to be after this. I don't know if he's like, I can't see him just being like a face, but like I know that I don't think they're going to do like, this was the worst he could be as a heel. So I don't know where they go from here. So it's kind of interesting to see where they go.
The only thing they could possibly do is have the Death Riders turn on him.
Yeah, something I just don't know if it's gonna work as a face, but I think they might try it. So I don't really know where they're gonna go there. But it's good to have options, I guess. So
yeah.
What's your so overall grade as we move on, Graham? I give
for
it
the
an
show
A.
or for the match? For the show? Yeah, no, it's easily an A, if not an A+. I think this was, to go back to what you said at the start, probably the best show they've ever done, honestly. If not maybe the best show. I don't know if it's the best show. I think it would say
it was right up
definitely
good. Really
right
good.
up there. I still say All Out 2021 takes the cake because that was a real, that was their WrestleMania 17. But this might be 1B if that's 1A.
Okay, A, LJ.
Yeah, I'll give it an A. It definitely would have been like an
A. I know you're not Mr. AEW.
No, yeah, I just, as someone who's like definitely more WWE fonded, I enjoyed watching it. It was fun to watch as like a fan that doesn't like, I don't watch every single Dynamite. I don't. I'll catch in like when I'm home and I'll turn it on in the background. But like, it was cool that I can watch these matches and still know what's going on in most of the storylines, at least, which is what I wanted from them for so long. So that's why I definitely enjoyed it.
I did. I thought it was really, really, really strong and great. I really did.
Definitely the length. Like, I don't think it just doesn't have to be that long. And I know that that's they don't mind doing that. And like, for someone who I was in attendance for WrestleMania 30, the one that was in MetLife, the last one,
35. Yeah, me too.
35.
Terrible.
It was like, I could not even keep my eyes open in that press box that I was in. And that was so like, I don't know how the fans felt there. So I don't know if they have a different view on it, because like they were there and they couldn't just go to the bathroom and like hang out in their air conditioned house. They're out there in a stadium sitting in a chair that's not comfortable for that long.
I can't even be in a stadium clearly for 2 hours without getting hurt.
Well, other than that, I enjoyed it. I think the length could just be a little bit shorter.
So all of a sudden we're like, oh shoot, Saturday Night Main Event's on, and there's a whole overrun, and now we don't know what the hell's going on. So pivoting to that, I can't tell you how much I hate this.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the great Randy Orton, now saddled in a storyline with Jelly Roll, who Triple H is touting like he lost weight. He's training at the Performance Center. Some of these people come in and want to do it, like Bad Bunny. And now, as the fallout of this match on Saturday Night's Main Event, Randy and Jelly Roll are going to team up at SummerSlam against Logan and Drew McIntyre. I don't think they know what to do with Logan either. Like, what is this? Okay, Graham.
Yeah, I don't think they know what to do with anyone involved here. I think they just knew that they wanted Jelly Roll to wrestle, or wrestle in quotation marks, and then they were like, all right, this guy's not doing anything, that guy's not doing anything, let's grab him too, and then we'll put him in a match together. Because none of this makes any sense at all. I know Orton was laid out by Drew McIntyre on SmackDown a few weeks ago, but like Logan Paul has nothing to do with this. The guy's just a hater. He doesn't like Jelly Roll, so he's out there interrupting the concert, whatever. And listen, Jelly Roll's an actual fan. I'll give him that. He seems like a nice guy. Maybe he'll surprise us, and he's actually training for this thing. God bless. I do not care about this. I do not care about this at all. It's a waste of Drew. It's a waste of Orton. Kind of even a waste of Logan Paul. I mean, they could have him doing something else too, and it's kind of just a mishmash of random people. And where Orton and Jelly Roll will win come SummerSlam.
I just want to give some. Before we move on, that we have somebody here who did have some good horn. He said, "Sup, everyone! What a great pay-per-view we had this weekend. The whole storyline in the main event. We're talking about AEW was perfection.
Yeah."
And he said, and I agree. The way that Moxley sold the chain around the fucking neck was great. but
that was great.
The biggest disappointment was Bucks versus Swerve and Ospreay.
Oh wow!
Hot take.
And last hot take is, I don't want to sound a hater, but Levesque's been awesome. Yeah, well, this match is certainly not right. Okay.
My thing with this is that, like, I don't care at all about Jelly Roll being, like, I'm not mad at all that Jelly Roll's fighting, because people forget, like, that's WWE has been with celebrities for so long. Like, I don't mind it. Like, look at the past few guys we've gotten. Logan Paul, who is a wrestler now. Bad Bunny was great in the ring. He had one of the best matches I've ever seen in person. against Damian Priest in Puerto Rico. It was amazing to watch.
Yeah.
I had no problem if it was just Logan Paul versus Jelly Roll. I wouldn't have cared about that because Logan can probably carry that match. And you want to do that as his thing, that's fine. But I actually really do enjoy Logan Paul. And like you said, I think that he could be doing something way more important, more than actually the other guys, because at least they're proven and they can, like, Logan can use some good stuff at SummerSlam. I'm more annoyed that he's not doing anything more important.
That's where I'm at, LJ. I'm annoyed that Logan Paul, who's so great in the ring, and they're giving him, I don't like that, and I don't like Randy being.
But my thing is that once somebody says something online that I do get, like, has anyone ever thought that maybe Orton just wants to do this? Which I feel like part of that probably could be that, like, Orton probably just doesn't care about what he does anymore, but like, it just kind of sucks to see someone who we all thought maybe would be fighting Cena at SummerSlam, or his final match is fighting with Jelly Roll at SummerSlam. But we'll get into it later. But I feel like they kind of screwed themselves over a little bit if Seth Rollins is this injured, because they could use these guys that are in this tag match to open up some storylines with some stuff that we got to figure out here. Now they're stuck in a tag match. It's already announced at SummerSlam. Yeah.
Well,
so I don't get it. I don't understand who said that.
What I have a problem with here, LJ, is I don't want to see Jelly Roll. I don't care. So, and this goes to the thing that Graham and I always talk about too, when we talk about who got interviews, who is on this, why are these people credentialed? They've got 2 followers, like, or they've got millions, whatever. It's kind of like, it's just always like they have a name or they have the follower. Like, what do they really think? He's just bringing some news to them. Do they really need him? And he's not Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
He's not $1 million. I understand he's big.
Yeah.
He's not a global superstar like Bad Bunny.
No.
So explain, Graham.
Well, LJ can go first. You if you wanted to go.
No, I was just gonna say that I definitely get, like, the whole celebrity thing. Like I said, they've been doing it for years. It's definitely I guess you would say a upgrade to, like, when they had Snooki on WrestleMania. Like,
oh my god,
you know what I mean? It's a different.
Don't remind me.
It's so much of an upgrade when you think of it in that way. But I just don't understand why. Like, you have Drew McIntyre, who just came back, and I'm such a big advocate for, because he's so good at what he does. And have him Claymoring Jelly Roll. It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. I don't understand the point of that. But, like, I will say, if I had to play devil's advocate, like, I'm watching, like I said, so I turned on Saturday Night Main Event, and off topic, but it was definitely weird to go from watching someone get stabbed in the forehead to Jelly Roll punching Logan Paul in the face. It was like, I forgot the difference of these 2 shows. It was definitely made me feel like a kid. But I was like, I'm watching it with my girlfriend and her family, and they're all like, oh, look, it's Jelly Roll. So I guess that's literally the reason, because they're like, oh, look, I know Jelly Roll. That's like, why is he there? And they were so intrigued by it because they don't watch wrestling. They have never watched wrestling before. And they see Logan Paul, who, like, my girlfriend, like, grew up loving on, like, YouTube and stuff. So it was like that's already the reason they brought him in. And they bring in Jelly Roll. I guess it's the only thing is for people that don't watch it to be like, oh, look, it's Jelly Roll. He's wrestling. And then they turn it on to see what happens. And listen, Jelly Roll, I don't know if you guys know, like, he's about that. Like, he has, like, he used to be in jail. He's very, like, open about it. He was in jail. He was a part of a thing. Like, he was very aggressive as a kid and all that stuff. So, like, I definitely think he can go. I just don't know the point. I don't know if it's really going to make sense. It's just, it's like an exhibition, and it sucks that SummerSlam's supposed to be, it's your first 2-night SummerSlam, and Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre are in a tag team match. It just, I don't know. It's so questionable.
Yeah. Graham, what's your final thought on it?
A lot of layers to this, just in the sense that with everything that we've already talked about as far as this goes, but the match itself could be fun. I mean, if their idea is, listen, let's get Jelly Roll on the show, like LJ was saying, to bring more eyes to the product, then great. I just feel like they do that too often, especially at a time where the shows already feel watered down, too sponsored, too corporate. Let's use a celebrity. Let's focus on the friggin' Slim Jim tables and all this other stuff. Just give me professional wrestling. Just give me good stories. I mean, this is basic storytelling, I suppose. But like I said, it's not as if Orton and Jelly Roll were established as best friends in storyline. It's like we've seen Jelly Roll on the show before, sure. Not doing anything with Orton, not doing anything with Logan Paul. Certainly, Drew McIntyre, who is the hater of the year in this company, Why would he want to associate with Logan Paul? What does he gain from teaming with Logan Paul? The answer is nothing. He wants the championship. Why would he go after Logan Paul and Jelly Roll and Randy Orton? It just doesn't make any sense. And it also bothers me too, where it's like, it also makes you think, why are they using Jelly Roll in this spot? But people like Carmelo Hayes and Andrade, like whatever, people like that are not getting these spots. Obviously, Jelly Rolls has 10 times the followers that all these other people do. But use these opportunities, this television time, to get newer people over or underutilized people over, like a Hayes, who has not been on the show in months, despite winning that pointless battle royal over WrestleMania weekend. Like, I want to see more people like that, not Jelly Roll in a match that really will not matter at the end of the day.
I have one more thing to say that I think the only way this could salvage, and I'm being completely honest, is if Randy Orton punts him in the head. Jelly Roll.
Turns heel after that? Hey, maybe.
I'm not even kidding. That's the only way anybody will forgive everything that happened is if he punts Jelly Roll in the forehead. That's the only way. And then he's a heel. And we finally get our heel Orton that we've been asking for so long.
Which is what everybody wants. This and the Too Pronto TNT star Fletcher. Yes, I saw the news today that Logan Paul has sold his Impulsive podcast to WWE TKO, which shows you guys just how the tentacles are everywhere now with TKO. And the way everybody's folding into this. And again, because he's so big, because he has such huge numbers, that's their thing, right? Acquisitioning people that have huge social numbers and followings and all of that.
Yeah.
That's kind of their mandate.
They got to be careful, though, because I saw they're back into the podcast game now, but they were also into the podcast game maybe 5-6 years ago. They had the New Day podcast, and Corey Graves had his own podcast. They all died within a year because WWE, whether it's Vince, Triple H, doesn't matter. They lose interest very quickly. So now that you sell these shows, Undertaker's now on their podcast or whatever. Yes. He had his own thing going there for a long time, a very good show. He had his own co-host. They replaced his co-host, and it was maybe Taker's call, who knows. They replaced his co-host with Michelle McCool, his wife. That is infinitely less interesting. And they just have the talent on their shows, like the WWE talent, but they're not going to shit on the company. So it's very sponsored and very watered down and stuff. But then when the day comes that WWE isn't really interested in this podcast stuff anymore, they'll just shut it down. They won't give them back the rights to their show. Logan Paul's show is gone, and so is Taker's. I just don't like that.
This is the same thing that happened on my end. So NBC, I produced a podcast for Days of Our Lives called the Inside Days of Our Lives. It was Inside Salem Days of Our Lives podcast. We ran it for 1 year. NBC decided to do a podcast initiative. So there were all these primetime and daytime podcasts based on the shows.
Yeah.
They put a lot of money, a lot of time into it, gathered all these assets, and within 1 year, we were all gone, all of them, because they just did. It's like, let's get this on, then we don't care. It was kind of like the overrun of it, which is what I'm seeing to Graham's point with WWE. There's so many now. There's Cody's, there's this, the thing, and I'm sorry, Michelle McCool. So the thing with Michelle McCool that I want to say,
I know we've talked about this before,
is there was, I think it's really important when you have people hosting a show that they know how to host a show.
Sure, absolutely.
There's worse than having a wrestler, a soap actor, people that are not naturally hosts.
Yep.
Who know how to move through and can talk to people. So she gets up at the Hall of Fame, and I'm sitting in the thing, and gave the worst speech I've ever heard. Like, she literally was. I was like, is this going on for 50 hours? It was like AEW, but it was a speech. Now she's hosting a show. I'm like, and she's probably a lovely lady, and I do not know Michelle, but wrong person in the wrong thing.
Yeah.
We automatically think because there's a name that their show is going to work right and be successful.
And Logan's podcast is like, I've watched it since the beginning. I really do enjoy his podcast a lot. And like, it's one of the main podcasts I listen to. Yeah. Like you said though, Graham, I just would hate to see it become watered down and become a WWE like fan fest. Like when that's not like, I literally don't really even watch his interviews that he does with superstars because I know everything about them already anyway. Like it doesn't like I like when I turn it on and it's like a celebrity or an actor or a comedian and stuff. But he just the last like I don't know if you guys caught on to that. Like the first 3 years that he was in WWE, and he would get the guy on the podcast, and they would feud them 2 weeks later.
Like the Orton.
Yeah.
So now I don't want it to become like a thing where they're doing storylines on there because then it just becomes like it's part of the show, and That's not fun.
It's not authentic.
It's not authentic. It seems scripted, which is like, I don't want scripted content all the time. I want something that I can watch that becomes everything on its own.
You can go back even further. I mean, even like 10 years ago, they had this big, before podcasting was really a thing, they were big into the YouTube game. They really tried to expand their YouTube channel. So they took Zack Ryder's show. They bought the rights to it, or Zack gave it to him, the Z True Long Island story thing. And it became like terrible. And he's even talked about how once that's one of his biggest regrets. He should have never done that because the show immediately died. It was not entertaining and they killed it off within a year. And I feel like this is just a corporate mandate thing, and it's not going to end well within a year. If we're talking at that point about this stuff, half of these shows will cease to exist.
And I agree with you. I think that's the thing. In the theory of it, they're like, this is great. Podcasts are hot. Let's get these all go right. Like, let's do it. Throw them out there. Let's do them. And then at some point, they're going to be like, well, this isn't doing well. Because Graham, we know, guys, like how much bandwidth the PR team has. So it's like, how are they going to do all of it? Like,
look at the NFTs. Where'd those go? They had NFTs for like a year, and then no one even knows where they are anymore. So it's like it's literally it's right there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you said, LJ. I mean, all the talent they have on their shows. I mean, they put up the schedule during all of these shows, like Saturday Night's Main Event. They have a schedule of all the podcasts coming up this week. You have Charlotte on this show, Braun Breaker on this show. At some point, you're going to run the gambit of everyone on the roster. So you can have Braun Breaker on that show and then on Impulsive. It's like, but I already heard him speak with Undertaker. What more is he going to say on that? I don't care about that.
Here's an interesting take. Even with Chris Van Vliet lately, he only does WWE and free agent interviews. It feels like WWE got to CBV also.
Well, I think he has AEW people. I would have to look at who he has, but I feel like he's had AEW people too. Because if it was only WWE, then it's like, okay, we gotta be careful here.
He said, agreed, Wrestle Rant's time to build new stars. We were talking about building new people.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, with Hayes and for sure.
Yeah. So back to Saturday night's main event. We get that whole mess. And then we get the horrible thing. As we know, Seth's my favorite. I was very upset that this happened.
My heart breaks for you, Michael.
I know.
You were in my prayers on Saturday night.
I know. I was like, but so there is this belief out there, as I saw today, that this is not really true, because Dave Meltzer said something really, I don't believe it.
I saw that.
Somebody, which you can take that with a grain of salt, people who
I think 18 grains of salt.
Right, 18 grains of salt. Like, backstage people were saying it was a work. It's not really, he didn't really hurt his knee. But then last night on the post show of Evolution, Triple H addressed it and said he's being evaluated today in Birmingham, Alabama, where they happen to be tonight.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting an MRI, but I heard he was on crutches backstage
and a brace.
So
in a brace, yeah.
In a brace. So, Graham, what did you think at the moment when you watched it? And I can tell you that I knew when they wrapped that match so quick that this was a real situation.
Well, my first inkling of that something happened was you texting me during the show, because I went back and watched the show from the start, and you go, what happened to Seth? And I'm like, well, I haven't watched the show yet, Michael. I have no idea what happened to Seth. I can't answer it. I haven't watched the goddamn show. So then I'm watching the match. I'm thinking, okay, what's Michael talking about? What am I waiting for here? Did he get shot or something? What happened? And then I see him get hurt. I'm like, okay, this is what he's talking about. And it was not a good situation. Listen, I saw what Meltzer said, saying that he was already hurt and this was used to cover the injury. Bro, he worked a full-length match. Why would he go in there in a hurt? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Maybe it's true. That is ridiculous. That is so dumb. Why would he do a move that could potentially actually injure him if he was already hurt? No, that makes no sense. Why would they even clear him to wrestle? That's just dumb. So I don't know if that's true or not, but it did not look good. They wrapped it up immediately. And the saddest thing is LA Knight wasn't even supposed to win. Like, Rollins was like, all right, let's just put him over, have him beat me immediately. God bless him too, because LA Knight doesn't win shit these days. So he was like, all right, I'll just put this guy over. It takes a guy actually getting hurt for LA Knight to win anything at this point, which is just sad. But this is a big blow to their plans. We'll see what happens tonight. They got a gauntlet match on Raw. I'm looking forward to that. But this could mess up quite a bit unless they use this as an opportunity to elevate Breaker and Reed and have them work with the Roman Reigns and the CM Punks and people like that. That I look forward to.
Hold on. So Pronto is not with you. He says, I do not buy all of that Wrestle Rant. He believes,
which part?
he believes, watch the spot in slow-mo. He hit the moonsault skull. Then he got up, hit the ropes, moonsault perfectly on both feet. After that, he started shaking. It's kayfabe. No, he came down on that knee, and I don't believe that.
Listen, from somebody who I tore my ACL and had a full knee repair, that the way he landed is literally how like 90% of those things go, is when you land on both feet at the same time. You're better off landing on one. Because
LJ, wait, can we clarify? You're talking about yourself.
Myself. Like those, he's 100% hurt. I'm not saying he tore his ACL. I think they probably would have known that already. I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping that it's similar to like I'm just hoping that, even though it wouldn't be great for TV, I guess, maybe he's like, it's 3 months and he can be on the show and still hold it. And not, I don't, if I look at the long term here, I don't want it to just be given to Breaker or Reed. I don't think that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I would rather it be given to somebody else and just forget about it, even though that would really hurt their plans. I know that it's hurting the plans for Roman, because that was literally who he was fighting at SummerSlam, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know what they're going to do there. I'm going to be honest, I kind of wish they just didn't finish the match at all, if I'm just being honest. I wish that, because it just, he put him over, but like, did he really put him over? Because he just left the ring anyway. So like, a part of me wanted to just forget about it and be like, all right, you know what? He really is just hurt. So we didn't have this whole, is he hurt or is he not? Because if they just didn't do the match, we would have known. It wouldn't have been all this back and forth. But like Sean Ross tweeted that he wasn't supposed to win and he was hurt. So.
But for those that don't know, that are watching, and maybe you guys do, so it was very apparent in the ring, and I've been in gorilla position at WWE. I know the whole thing. I know how it works. It was very clear by Seth had panic on his face.
It was in the eyes.
It was in his eyes, and that's got me upset. It was in his eyes. You knew he was hurt. Two, Jessica Carr, right? She's the referee. She had the thing in her ear. She's getting signals back and forth from Gorilla of what we're going to do. They did a camera move where she went in. They did a camera move to cut away, I don't know, from some LA Knight or somebody, just so they could make it look like so we could look surprised by how it was going to end. But they were all figuring it out on the fly. You can tell they were all figuring out, how do we get out of this? I got to get out of the ring. Like, I'm hurt.
If he was actually hurt going into it, why the fuck would they have him wrestle? It doesn't make sense. Why would he wrestled like for 10 minutes? That's what I'm saying. Like,
he could have hurt himself, tweaked it, and then it just blew out. I don't know, but
and it sucks because the match was actually going really well, and they had really good chemistry together. I enjoyed it. It just sucked. It's literally him and Liv Morgan were involved in so many storylines, and they're both hurt. And like we said, we can't, I guess, jump the gun. I mean, he's definitely hurt, so he's not going to be like, it's not going to be something where it's like he's back today and he's fine for SummerSlam. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. It just sucks that something that was so good. Like, I was loving this storyline. I love Seth Rollins, all of them included. I just don't. I think they're gonna. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, I don't know if they're gonna do it, but like, they might have to call in a favor they might have to call in some big guns to lead this group. I think somebody else is gonna come in and lead that group while he's out. People keep saying, I know that I don't want to start controversy, but people keep saying that they should call in Lesnar and have him be the guy and have Heyman call him back and say for him to be there. It would definitely create some fun moments where it's like, we don't know what's going to happen next, but like, I don't know what they're going to do. I really don't.
Yeah, I could be the biggest mark, and I'll admit it, for Seth. But do you understand why I'm upset? Seth, everyone's been talking about this. I've said to you guys, I think Seth is fantastic. And I felt, why did he never feel like the big star? And that's what they were trying to do with this. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like Seth, I felt terrible because this was going to be his year reign to big stardom, theoretically. Yeah. Now, theoretically, he's injured. Just when he was finally getting his chance, because after the double swerve at the main event at WrestleMania, it was going to be Heyman, and I thought this was where we're going. Mm-hmm. So that's what upset me. Stepher says you can look at Seth's reaction. It seems legit. I agree. But Proto says Seth sold good. That's what I take. It's Braun versus Roman now. Well, my point, that could be, do they put everything into Braun's hands? Graham, any thoughts?
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe. I don't know if it's the contract itself. I mean, listen, he just won the briefcase, Rollins did, a month ago. So they could just keep it on him. I mean, it depends how long he's out for. Is he out for 9 months? Is he out for 9 weeks? If it's not that long, just keep the briefcase on him and don't pivot too hard from what they originally planned. If it is long-term, like LJ said, you can give it to someone else. I mean, if they gave it to Breaker or Reed, I'm fine with that. I would just use this as an opportunity to elevate Breaker, contract or not. Have him go in there, face Roman, maybe even beat Roman at SummerSlam. Like, give him a big win. I think Breaker and Reed, I like the group with him and Rollins and all these guys and Heyman and whatever. It really hasn't found its footing yet, in my opinion, in the sense that
I don't like it.
I like the group. It's just that so far it feels like they have felt like lackeys for Seth Rollins. And Breaker, before Mania, was the Intercontinental Champion, standing on his own 2 feet, headlining Raws. Why can't we go back to Breaker just being a badass and show more personality as he was before WrestleMania? And I feel like him going in there feuding the Roman Reigns would be one way to accomplish that and get him back on track.
I don't like the fact of one thing before you say it. I don't like the fact, I told you guys probably separately, I don't like the fact that Rollins needed these lackey henchmen on his side. I thought that dumbed him down. I didn't feel that elevated him. Like, look, I have a faction. I felt it made him look like I got 2 goons. He did fine by himself before. Like, I thought just him and Heyman, I would have done him, Heyman, and then have Lynch be a Heyman girl. And that would be it. That's what I would have done, but nobody asked me. Okay.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say that I was trying to find the exact wording they used today. It was this morning. For Brian Alvarez tweeted that he said, somebody today told me what happened. They said the reason these stories are conflicting is because he is hurt. What happened on Saturday was a storyline, meaning he is hurt, but did not get hurt on that spot, which just makes no sense, like you were saying. Yeah. Why would you have him wrestle? And then it says that spot was a cover for an injury that he has, which he will have worked on. The idea suggested is that he will be out of action for a little while, but they're going to say 9 months, but he will be back sooner than that. So that would cover every base. But like that, why would you ever do an injury? Why would Seth agree to doing a move that could even make it worse? That
exactly. It's just stupid.
To your point, yes. But LJ, when you blew out your knee, to your point, you knew.
I knew right away.
Did you know right away? Like, I know when I've torn my bike, all the injuries I've had.
Well, with me it was a little different because when I was like when I blew my knee out, it just felt a little off. I came out of the game, and then I'm just a jerk and an idiot, and I was like, I'm going back in, and I went back in and probably made it a lot worse than it probably already was. And then, but I knew I was hurt. Like I wouldn't, but like once I knew that I was hurt, if it was the next day, I wouldn't have been like, yeah, let me go out there and hurt it even more so they don't think it's real. Like that doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense to me. I think that's just dumb.
And if that is true, that they're just stupid. So someone here is an idiot. I don't know if it's Meltzer or the company or someone.
Or if it's true, then Seth is the idiot because you don't agree to do that. You know what I mean?
So that would make
Also, remember after WrestleMania, not the WrestleMania before, when Seth had to take time off for the knee injury, and they were going to do, I don't know if he did surgery or not at that time.
He had to come back sooner than
but he came back sooner than he came back a lot sooner. So in my head, I'm like, oh shit, he already had the problem. He came back a lot sooner. Maybe this is literally the straw that broke the camel's back, and now he's going to have major knee.
I will say though, they have that the WWE behind the scenes writers room show coming out on Netflix in a couple weeks. I definitely wish it was being recorded now because I would love to be in there seeing what they're
you make a great point. If they really want to break that fourth wall, I would do it now.
Yeah, show us the scrambling right now and what the whiteboard looks like right now. That's what's going on.
A couple things Zephyr says, I still don't buy the faction. I agree with Michael. He was good on his own. I agree. Pronto to have Seth injured in live TV and not backstage, LJ. What?
That's why. I think he's saying that's why.
Yeah.
But still, like we said, he could have risked making it worse. It's just stupid. They could have they could have had him get attacked backstage. LA Knight could have attacked him backstage. You could explain it that way. You don't have to have him wrestle a full length. Again, it was a 10-minute match. He was out there wrestling a full length match. And they also messed up the timing for the rest of the show with the whole Goldberg thing. Why do you think Goldberg went out there for 15 minutes?
Okay. So don't get me started. This was a train wreck. You got Bill Goldberg, who you arranged all of this for. Like, you gave the title to Gunther. You had Jey Uso lose it. You wanted Gunther versus Goldberg in Atlanta, in his hometown. You set the whole thing up. You know Goldberg's going to lose, and you go cut him off on NBC. That is atrocious. My sister, who knows Goldberg, like follows Goldberg, I sent her the video of the full thing that people recorded, like so she could see it. She goes, I can't believe NBC cut it off. That was terrible. Absolutely terrible. What did you think of the match and what happened?
I thought the match, honestly, was perfectly fine. Like it wasn't a case of, because I saw some people saying, oh, people were shitting on this before it even happened. And look what, I mean, it wasn't the match I had an issue with. It was the issue of, if Goldberg went over, I would have probably drove myself into a ditch and would not be sitting with you right now talking about it, because that would have made absolutely zero sense. It was the correct outcome. And listen, I like Goldberg. I thought he went in there and did a commendable job. He was in there the match was way longer than it needed to be. This was his longest match in like 25 years. I'm not really sure why, but they made the most of the time. That being said, though, my whole thing with this match was that it's a 2-hour show. We know most of these shows consist of commercials. Like All In, I started this at 9 o'clock and I went back and rewound it on Peacock. I skipped through all the commercials. I got through this show in like less than an hour, because I skipped through all the crap. That's how much crap is on these shows. And then we finally got to the match. The match was way longer than it needed to be, because you could have just trimmed it down by half the time and then given the rest of that time to his post-match promo. But with NBC, they got a hard out at 10 o'clock. So they're like, all right, we'll show 10 seconds of it and cut him off. It's like, this is the guy's retirement speech. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So, I mean, the timing was terrible.
And to your point, get rid of one of those other matches.
Jimmy Uso and Solo, did we really need that? I mean, come on.
Jimmy Uso on Saturday Night Live. But when you have Goldberg, your whole point was doing this in Atlanta, giving Gunther the belt. So Goldberg was going against his enemy. Like, it was all planned, and you didn't even allow enough space on a live show for him to say goodbye. I think that was shameful.
Yeah. I like you said, the match was fine. Like, and I actually thought it was his best match he's had. Like, since,
I do too.
Like, since coming back the first time against Lesnar when he squashed him. Like, it was like definitely the best one. Gunther's obviously great. Obviously no one thought he was gonna win. Everyone had these theories in their head that maybe he would win, and then that's when Seth was cashing in.
Yeah, that would have been terrible.
And then people thought that the spot was improvised with the knee brace, because they thought that's when Seth was supposed to come in and do something. But I was like, I just think they don't know what they're doing. And I just think that was just whatever. But I was like, why would anybody in the back be like, oh, Seth got hurt, cut the match short, so we need more time, let's extend their match. Like, why would anybody suggest that? It made no sense. But I was pissed, because the post game, the promo was actually really good. So I would have liked to watch that, not on a cell phone. I would have liked to watch it on TV.
It was touching, right?
Yeah, I didn't mind it. Like, I thought it was nice what he was saying. And it's still, at the end of the day, you have your own thoughts about Goldberg, but it's still somebody that a lot of people's favorite wrestler is probably him, and would have liked to see that. Like, they wouldn't have done that to, a couple other guys that probably had their retirement match.
They're not doing that to John Cena. Let's put it that way.
That's why it sucked. Even if NBC was on the hard out, like, you don't do that. And I will say, technically, Cena's last match is a Saturday Night Main Event, and they need to figure that out, because it just can't be that, because it's a house show. It's literally just a glorified house show. So they need to figure out what they're doing there, because that cannot be the case
with a lot of commercials.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Wait, to both of you, wasn't there, from my understanding, you brought up a point, LJ, that there was a change. Something was supposed to happen during the show, that Rollins was coming back in. You thought that was too?
That's what a lot of people were saying, like, with the whole, because I was surprised that we got I don't honestly really understand why we got the Charles Robinson spear, because it didn't make any sense for the match. Like, nothing ended up happening. So, because he didn't even hit him with the knee brace. So it didn't like he hit him twice with it, but it didn't. That did seem improvised, I will say. So I thought we were gonna get something different, but then there was reports that we weren't. So I was like, what was the point of the spear? I just didn't get it. I didn't understand it.
Wait, but Graham, that's what they were saying, right? That Seth was planned for something else later in the show.
Well, no. Well, like LJ said, people were thinking that may have been the case, because people were saying that anyway. There was I know you said we all knew Goldberg was going to win. I was worried, or I'm sorry, that Goldberg was going to lose. I was worried that Goldberg might win. And even honestly, if they had Goldberg win and then Seth Rollins cashes in, it's like, oh, but he's not retiring as champion. It's still the optics of Gunther losing to Goldberg. A 58-year-old Goldberg with a busted knee would have been ridiculous. ridiculous. That would make no sense.
Yeah.
The ref spot, I wasn't thinking the Rollins thing. I think they may have just done that to set up what they did to the outside with him and Gage. Where he could push Gage and whatever, and then he gets back in the ring and then he spears him. I guess you could have done that without spearing the referee, but that was my thought. I thought the match went according to plan, but it felt like they gave it more time because Rollins got hurt, but they really should have given that time to the post-match promo. Like for them to cut, like, what a terrible move, by the way. The timing was terrible, but they cut back when you think, oh, the show's not over yet. They're going to cut back and show his promo, and they only showed 30 seconds of it before they went off the air. How shitty is that?
That is what made them look like
crazy.
Assholes, because you went back to them. I think they should have just not gone back, because now,
at that point, just save it for socials.
Like, wow, NBC and you people, you screwed this up. Like,
I know, it was weird. It was weird.
Bad. So what's
in my head, the feeling I got at that point was like I'm just picturing like Triple H so pissed that Seth Rollins is injured. He's like, just end the damn show. He's like, I don't even care anymore. Like they were already trying to figure out what they were gonna do with Seth, and they were like, you know what, I don't even care. Just end the show and call it a day. That's what it felt like.
I think it was Bret Hart.
It was really weird. It looked like a mishap on the production side of it, which I could have been. I don't know. I don't know what it was.
I think it was bad pace.
I think it was
going to give us. Most of us don't care about Goldberg retiring anyway. And if you're going to make us watch it, at least do it right and don't. Like it felt like they were like, oh, we're going to give it to Goldberg, but we're not going to make these people watch his promo, so we're going to just end the show. That's what it felt like.
Weird. So what are we grading this, Graham?
C, probably. The whole show, not the match itself. The show, it was incredibly unnecessary. I mean, I know Rollins getting hurt and the Goldberg retirement thing was newsworthy to an effect. The opening match thing I didn't really care about. The Solo and Jimmy, what a barn burner that was not. Very easily the weakest Saturday night's main event. And that's saying something. The other shows were not all that newsworthy anyway. This was easily the weakest one they've done yet. And the Gunther Goldberg main event I liked, but the post-match thing bothered me. So I got to give this a C. Maybe even a C-.
The best part of the show was Bianca Bianca and Jade and Naomi, and they weren't even a part of it.
Right.
They set it up for the next night.
The best part of the show. It made the most sense.
Yeah.
It was the only thing that made sense.
Yeah. So I'm giving it a C- to D.
Give me an F.
F, that's fair.
When I give an F, it's because when I think about, will I ever in my life go back and turn that thing on? I will never click that button ever in my life.
No. Yeah,
like zero part of me. You know what I mean? So it's like literally nothing made sense.
Yeah.
Pronto agrees with you, Wrestle Rant.
Mm-hmm. But Goldberg probably, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. So there. All right. So now this was Saturday. This is just Saturday.
Oh, that was just Saturday, yeah. Today is Monday.
Monday.
We have more wrestling tonight.
More wrestling on Sunday. So now it's WWE Evolution. And on paper, if you guys remember, people were like, it's not going to be, it wasn't sold out. But there were people like, nobody cares. They didn't build it up, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of negativity about Evolution going into it. Like, that's all. I was like, is this going to be really good? Right? And it was fantastic. Yeah. It was fantastic. Graham, I just, what's your overall take? We're going to get to the main event in a minute, but talk to me about what you thought it meant for women's wrestling and having it come back. And did it deliver, in your opinion?
I think it over-delivered. I think this might be, and we'll get to it, might be either their show of the year, if not their second best show of the year. I thought Backlash was really good. This was better than that overall. The only other show that comes close to me was Elimination Chamber that had the Cena turn. The aftermath sucked, but like the Cena turn, Orton coming back, Jade coming back, the matches themselves, that was an amazing show. So I feel like that might get the edge over this one, but this was still a great show. And it meant a lot to women's wrestling because I feel like even in spite of the non-existent build, they put this card together on 2 weeks' notice. A lot of matches feeling rushed that did not make sense. They went out there. I honestly give way more credit to the women than I do the company. I don't really credit the company. The booking decisions were correct, but the women went out there and killed it. I mean, the main event was awesome. The opener was awesome. 2 of the best matches all year. Jade had one of her best matches ever with Naomi in that no holds barred match. The 4-way tag was good. Trish and Tiffany was good for the women's title. A very, very good show overall. And a great crowd too.
Yeah, I thought the crowd was great. I thought the women over-delivered. I thought they were great. And LJ and I we were texting during the first match, and I wanted Bailey, and she's like, fuck Becky.
So who did you want, LJ?
Who did you want?
I like Bailey, but I also really like Lyra. I think she's great.
I like Lyra too.
Okay.
But I do know that like storyline wise, like it just makes sense to have Becky keep holding it, and it's really good for the IC women's for her to hold it because it never felt that prestigious until she had it. So sure. I definitely get it. And it has nothing to do with her in the ring. She's like possibly one of the greatest ever. I'm tired of her. So I just want someone new. Like you said, like new faces. Like I'm ready for some new people to be involved. But I mean, we can start from there. But I like as a show overall, like there was not one moment where I was like not intrigued. And it's kind of crazy to even think about the fact that this is literally like it made Mania look like Saturday Night Main Event. Like that's literally what the show felt like. It was and it was very similar. I will say it was very similar to an AEW. Like it was like their version of an AEW show where it didn't have much of a build, and all I care about is what you're watching in that ring, and that's literally what it was. Like they didn't have much of a build, they didn't need the build, and they put on a crazy show. It was great.
So who did you want to win that, Graham?
What the opening match?
Yeah.
I wanted actually Becky to win solely because I agree with the fresh faces thing. I wanted Becky to win so we can get Becky and Lyra again at SummerSlam. I think, and I've said this before, my personal opinion, this is, and I would correct me if I'm wrong, if there's another one that comes to mind, this has been the best feud in WWE all year between Becky, Lyra, and now Bailey. Everything they've done has made sense. The matches have been excellent. Lyra's gotten over because of it. They've elevated the women's championship. It's a storyline that makes sense as far as Lyra and Becky having history as friends and then Becky turning on her. Becky's doing great work. Lyra's improved a lot on the mic. Bailey's obviously the third wheel here, but she's also played her role well, and they had a great match last night. And if the end game is what I think it is, with Lyra getting the belt back ultimately from Becky, beating her in some sort of a step match at SummerSlam, that to me is the best feud of the year because nothing else they have done has been as consistently entertaining, both in the ring, on the mic, and storyline-wise, than this match. So I'm glad Becky won, and she didn't even pin Lyra. That's the thing. They protected Lyra, not Bailey, which is saying a lot.
And they always
hopefully a rubber match.
Bailey in that interview, I think it was with Chris. I mean, how she never
knew.
Yeah, she doesn't get pushed anymore.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking about the fact that she was going to get taken off the show because she kind of knew at that point too. But yeah, she feels like an afterthought. Yeah.
An afterthought. Right. Zephyr said the women's IC total match was a banger. I agree. Evolution was good due to the talent, not the booking. Also agreed. Wrestle Rant. Zephyr says best PLE after WrestleMania, in my opinion, was Evolution. Then we get to JC Jane going out against Jordan Grace, and
Michael has the receipts.
Oh no! Well, that Blake Monroe was going to turn on Jordan.
I didn't think so. I really didn't think it was going to happen yet. I thought it was so soon. It was so quick to do that.
It was quick.
It doesn't work as a face, in my opinion. LJ disagrees. I think she is a heel, and I'm glad they turned her because I just did not like the good girl Blake Monroe thing. If she's going to be that character, which is very similar to Mariah May, then she's got to be a heel. I saw it. I'm like, why would she be in Jordan Grace's corner? She's not going to like turn on her. Yeah. The thing they did was keep her separate from the JC Jane Fatal, whatever their names are, group.
Yeah.
Which was smart because you don't want to just like throw it. Like I was glad that like she turned on her and it's like, oh, I'm joining this faction. Like you just here take.
Oh no, that would have been stupid.
Take your belt. I'm gonna beat you for it anyway at the next pay-per-view. So
that's the thing. That's the key here. If she had just joined them, that would be ridiculous because when she debuted with the contract signing, they put her through the table. So that would just be stupid if she just joined them. But if she's helping her retain, it wasn't about helping JC retain. It was about costing Jordan the win because she's the same old Mariah May at the end of the day. Can't trust her, whether it's Toni Storm, Jordan Grace. You can't trust Blake Monroe / Mariah May. I like that. I think this was the plan the entire time from the moment she debuted. So I don't think it's like, oh, she's not working as a face, we have to turn her. I think this was always the plan. And it makes sense too because you can do Blake and Jordan at the next NXT PLE, have Jordan put over Blake, probably on Jordan's way out over to Raw and SmackDown. Seemingly that's where she's headed imminently. I don't know what JC does on that show. I don't really care about JC at all. I think the belt belongs on Blake Monroe on the Sooner side.
Jordan Grace is cursed. She's lost so many NXT titles. She has.
I just think they know. Yeah, they know. Like you said, they know that they have their draft coming up soon, which doesn't even matter after like 2 months. But they have the draft coming up soon,
that's being generous.
Yeah, the brand split for like literally a month until they do War Games and then they forget about it. But they have the draft coming up soon, so I think they know that they didn't want to just throw Jordan Grace immediately into Raw and SmackDown, but they didn't want to give her a belt, a championship, to then lose and then get drafted anyway. So it definitely made sense for her to just keep putting people over until she gets there.
I mean, to be fair, my first thought was that if she's not I thought she was getting called up with Stephanie. That seemed to be the rumor a month ago. Stephanie got called up right before Money in the Bank. It seemed like Jordan would also be called up right away with Julia and Stephanie and Roxanne and those girls, but she wasn't. So honestly, at this point, I know it would have been a short run. I would have given her the belt. I had Jordan should have beaten Stephanie at Battleground 2 months ago and not lost it to JC Jane. JC Jane is like the most, you look at the lineage of that title, seems like a nice woman. I could not give two shits if I tried. She is so average. So this was the weakest match in the entire show at Evolution. I think the match was fine, but she's just so average. Give Jordan the belt and then have Blake beat Jordan. The feud that we're about to get with Blake and Jordan could have been for the belt, but instead they put it on JC just to shock people.
There's something about JC Jane and those girls that is so unmemorable. I don't know who. It's like
she's not even the best girl in her group. That's the thing. Fallon Henley's better than she is.
And you know what? I'm watching this and I go, oh, I've seen this before. I could put any three girls that do not like. I've just seen it all before. You know,
yeah, it's Toxic Attraction 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
a weaker version of that. Mandy Rose did this role much better than JC Jane did. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I just was like, ugh. But yeah, the point is Jordan Grace, and they're going to give Blake Monroe her first feud.
Yeah.
As a heel.
Which is good. And then Blake goes over, Jordan moves up, and call it a day. I don't know what you do with JC in the meantime. I don't really care, but get that belt on Blake on the Sooner side, and we'll call it a day.
Now, let's talk a minute about this tag match and Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, because, everyone wanted to hate, has been hating, and rightfully so, on Charlotte Flair, who I thought was supposed to come back as a babyface from her injury, and it kind of backfired. So do you feel this is softening her up? She really made a play to be like protecting Alexa Bliss in that match and all that. Does it feel forced, or like, are you buying it? And what did you think of the results of the tag match? You had Raquel and Roxanne Perez winning the match. Graham, what did you think?
I like the match. I do think this is working and softening up Charlotte, and they haven't even gotten a whole ton of television time on SmackDown. I mean, they've been teasing this with them in backstage segments, very quick backstage segments for months now, but they haven't had like an in-ring segment where they've really like talked through their issues or attempted to like a whole Team Hell No type thing where she's like trying to hug Charlotte and Charlotte wants nothing to do with her. I was amazed. I had to check my ears to make sure I wasn't hearing things. There was a "We Want Charlotte" chant during this match. I was like,
so loud too.
It was loud. I'm thinking, are they piping this? What are they smoking in Atlanta tonight? And God bless. I'm nothing against Charlotte. I was just amazed that they were actually doing that. I'm like, this is good for her. You know what? Good for her. And they can give them the titles at SummerSlam. I'm glad they did not win here. They should be the next tag team champions for whatever those belts are worth at this point, but they can be the next champions.
Graham, are we sure they didn't pipe in that?
I don't think so. I mean, you can go back and check, but I mean, I'd be surprised. One chant they would have piped in. I don't think so. They have piped in a lot of stuff in the past. I cannot deny that. But recently, it sounds like they haven't really done that.
Yeah, it was one of my good friends was actually in attendance yesterday, and he said that the "We Want Charlotte" chant was loud, and then when she got tagged in, they like blew the roof off. And like,
that's crazy.
And it's just crazy to me that like you had Alexa Bliss who was out for so long, and she's able to come back and get Charlotte over like that. You don't understand how important that is.
She's doing God's work out there.
Because it's true. When you think about SmackDown itself, like there's so many women on that roster that are so good, and they could have used an extra face, and now they have Charlotte as another face. Definitely, like you said, I didn't want them to win because I knew that it would have made more sense for them to win at a bigger pay-per-view, but I definitely thought they were going to and then just pull the trigger because that's just what they do. They don't let anything settle. But Michael knows I love Judgment Day. Like I love everything they're doing. We've talked very highly of Raquel too. I think she's putting on probably her greatest work she's ever done. Mm-hmm. And she deserves to seem like a powerhouse. And was really glad with the way that match ended.
I to LJ's point, I've always loved Raquel, and I thought they threw under the bus. So I'm glad that she's getting to have this moment where, and you know what else was really interesting when they made the comment that I did not know that her idols were China.
Mm-hmm.
And they said something else about because she's a big girl and she didn't fit well in high school. And I was like, now this makes sense. Let's go with this if they really do that. But I don't know if it's just a moment they're giving her right now till Liv comes back and the whole thing falls apart. Like, isn't that where they're going? The way this is going, LJ, and I think Liv becomes the face again when she comes back.
I think so too. I think that's where they were headed before she got hurt. So her and Dominic both, honestly, probably based on how organically over they are.
Dom still gets cheered no matter what. So
exactly. So you might as well embrace him.
Stepher says I have a problem with those type of matches. It was 4-way tag team match, right? Why are they not 4 people wrestling like a fatal 4 instead of just 2? What do you think?
Yeah, sometimes they do that, sometimes they don't.
I don't get it either. I don't get how a fatal 4-way tag team match is 2. I don't understand that. I do agree like fully. Like 100%.
Yeah, that's stupid. They should have 4 people in there.
And sometimes I watch matches. I'm like, so is this a fatal 4-way like that fatal? Like the matches just don't seem clear.
No, there's no coherent like in both companies. With a lot of this stuff, they just kind of make it up. Like, okay, this is convenient for today, but next time we'll change the rules.
And they said, and even Wade Barrett said, he's like, I'm very confused on who's the legal person in this match because I was very confused too.
Yes, he said that. Yeah, towards the end, I was like, I was thinking, I literally said that out loud, and then he said, "I'm like, God bless."
I had no idea who was in the match. They could have pinned whoever, and I would have believed them.
The ref was like,
oh, okay.
And I honestly, I do feel like if you watch those matches and like you actually cut them apart, I really wonder how many of those are the actual legal person that makes the pin, or they just say no one knows anyway, so just make the pin and forget about it.
I mean, there are times where that definitely happens, but the internet, some people just pay attention. Some people are like, well, that person wasn't legal. I can't pay attention. I'm not like that. But there are people who are very detail oriented that will point it out on Twitter and they'll be like, you're right, that person wasn't legal. And they might incorporate that into the storyline. But usually, most people don't pay attention.
All right. So we had Tiffany Stratton defending her title against Trish Stratus. Graham, what'd you think?
A good match. I thought this was exactly what it needed to be. Trish looked good. I thought she killed it against Becky a couple years ago in that last steel cage match they had. This wasn't quite that, but on a match that had no build, pretty much. I mean, there was a history there. I mean, obviously, but simple stuff. They didn't have a million kickouts. She hits her finish, puts her away in under 10 minutes. Exactly what needed to be. Another good title defense for Tiffany. So I like this.
Tiffany's best match as a champion, in my opinion, I think.
Oh, wow.
I actually thought this was Trish's best match for coming in and plopping in there. Like usually I'm like, I thought Trish did her job too. Did you see her in the post show? She was so bruised and banged up. Whenever Trish gets in a match these days, her face is bruised. Like she's literally gets banged up more than anyone. I swear to God, every time I see her.
She can really still go. It's pretty cool to see that.
That's cool. Yeah.
She's definitely one of the like men and women combined. She's one of the best that has came back and still can like do some good in-ring work.
Trish is killing it at 49. Yeah, she is. From the girl, as I told you both, she was the first person I worked with in WWE. She literally could not say a promo. She could not talk or remember her lines. She was the fresh girl when I was there.
Yeah.
I looked at it and I was so proud of her. I'm like, wow. Look at her
25 years later and she's still doing this.
25 years later. And then there was the thank you, Trish. The end was kind of touching when she did
nice. Because that could be it. She may not come back. You don't know, there's never any guarantees. So that was it. That was a nice way to go out.
So then we come to the main event, which with Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, that match of the year so far.
It's up there. Yeah.
Come on. Right now, like it's awesome. Graham, talk me through. I thought it was brilliant. I'll just say this before you go, is that it was really smart to knock out the ref. It allowed them to open it up and literally throw down all over the place, which made it even more incredible when it was already incredible. That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking. I thought the same thing. I had no issue with the ref being out for that long because you would think, oh, someone's going to interfere. And I'm thinking, who would interfere in this match? I know we got the Naomi cash in, but like before that, I'm thinking, and even that I wasn't really thinking of. I'm like, are they going to have Judgment Day involved? Get involved? That would have just been lame. But no, it allowed them to go outside the ring, fight around the arena, not go quite into the depths of the arena that Ricky Saints and Ethan Page did during the NXT show, during their Falls Count Anywhere match, which was a great match as well. But they were doing some crazy stuff, and that was fun. And the match got progressively better. I mean, the entire match was great, but like when I say it got better, like it picked up. Fantastic match. Their chemistry is off the charts. And then, we all kind of assumed Rhea was definitely winning, but then the Naomi thing really threw me for a loop because she's a SmackDown talent, but now she has the Raw title. So I thought this entire thing was perfectly executed. Even if Rhea had won, my thoughts in this match would not have changed. This is one of the best matches all year, right along with the other triple threat they had with Bianca, actually, at WrestleMania earlier this year. So fantastic finish here. I'm glad Naomi's champion. We all thought she would probably cash in on Jade, but they went a different direction with it. And now Naomi's running the Raw Women's division. So I love this.
I'm being remiss. Seth reminded me we forgot to talk about Naomi versus Jade Cargill.
Oh my goodness. And the Battle Royal too, but the Battle Royal.
I gotta go back. I gotta talk about the Battle Royal. So we'll finish. I want to talk about the Battle Royal. So we're gonna finish this. Okay. LJ, what did you think of Io Rhea match?
I texted you, Michael, like the way this match was progressing was obviously like I have there's nothing wrong with this match. And I texted Michael match of the year, and I didn't realize there was another 15 minutes left. Like I thought the match was nearing its end. Like I thought it was ending in that ring. Mm-hmm. And then they had the spot, and then they come back in, and I'll be honest, like so I thought they wanted, like I keep saying all these rumors that WWE wanted to control the narrative and they wanted to do something big. I never thought we were getting AJ Lee. I never thought that. Everyone
me neither. Yeah.
I did think there was a chance we were getting Paige. I thought there was a chance we were getting her, and because she would have gotten a pop, people would have liked it, and I thought they would have, not that it would have made sense, but I thought they would have maybe had her come in when the ref went down and get that, because I thought she was going to come in during the Battle Royal. That's just what I thought. I thought we were getting a surprise at some point.
Yeah, none actually.
And did they need it? No, they didn't. They
no.
put on a quick interview. But I thought because they do like to do that. I thought we were getting a Paige run-in when the ref went down. Didn't even get that. And I was like, oh, they're just going to come back in the ring. And then when they had Io come off the top rope and do her finisher, I was like, oh, this match is over. And then she kicks out. And then I'm like, what are they going to do for the next 10 minutes? And then she comes out, Naomi, and wins it. I was shocked because I like they said straight up, like I thought she was going after Tiffany, and
yeah.
Now the one thing I gotta say though, have they said who Jade's fighting yet at SummerSlam? Because if it's not,
well, they did say that your brand's title, so she's definitely facing Tiffany. Yeah,
like I thought there was a chance that they gave Naomi the championship and then they still go Jade her because she can technically fight whoever, but.
I mean, maybe.
Do you not think like Io Sky can fly? Like I was just
she's the best. I personally I want her to win.
Really so impressed with her.
Yeah,
like, and I think Rhea's fantastic, but Io is just like
she's the best wrestler in the company right now. I don't really think that's much of a stretch. Yeah.
And so normally, like when I'm texting with you guys, or like calling what I did with Darby, or that I literally did not even think. I was so engrossed.
No, me neither. Yeah.
So well done because I was so engrossed in the match. My head was not going. I was like, ooh, who's going to win? Who's going to win? Right. Because it was so many kickouts and so many, and the referee, and like, it was so much going on that I never thought it. And that's the best wrestling. If they can surprise you like that, I was just so surprised. And happily surprised because this was to me a great surprise.
And that was the best briefcase cash in Triple H's book since becoming like in charge of that. Like
her girl with her busted nose.
Yeah, it was great. And she deserved. And from Naomi as a person, like it couldn't be anyone like literally no one better. She deserves that so well. And I hope it's a long run. I'm gonna be honest. I hope it's a long run.
I don't think it's gonna be short. She's a heel. I can't imagine them just taking it off of her.
Well, right? I think what they're going to do, this was the tough thing. You can't, if Rhea, first of all, if Naomi cashed in and Rhea won anyway, that would have been awful. That would have been absolutely terrible. It would have been a waste of the briefcase and we still would have gotten the result that we were expecting. So thankfully they did not do that. But where I see this going is Naomi moves to Raw. I imagine Jimmy Uso would probably move with her because they're married. They have to be in the same show, whatever. They're probably reuniting the Usos soon, so that could be a nice boost to the tag team division on Raw. But with Naomi, I assume you probably do her and Io at SummerSlam. I don't know what Rhea does. Maybe Paige comes back and faces Rhea in a non-title match. I doubt that happens, but that would be awesome. But yeah, you could do Naomi Io at SummerSlam. Stephanie, we know, has the title shot because she won the Battle Royal at Clash. So you could do Naomi and Stephanie at Clash. I think all roads lead to Rhea getting the belt back at that Perth, Australia show in October. So I think at the very least, Naomi will be champion.
There you go.
It's only 3 months, but you'll have a bunch of title defenses.
There you go. That's what they do. I'm telling you, all these wrestling shows play to the crowd. Look at AEW. They're all going, oh, we're going to Australia. That's where she'll win.
Yeah.
Now,
what you like.
But when Drew McIntyre did Clash of the Castle, didn't
he lost twice.
He lost.
So it's not every time. It's not that predictable.
So I'm
it's
saying
not guaranteed. No.
I definitely think we'll get a, like you said, I think it's going to lead back to Rhea, but sadly, like, even though I don't mind the feud and it's been so overdone, I definitely think we're going to at some point get a Rhea Liv return feud again, and it's just that's what's going to be. I think that's what we're getting in the long run, because they never got to do the Rhea Liv Mania match because she got hurt the first time. So the second time, I think that's where we could end up getting next Vegas again. I think that could be what we're end up getting.
We have to go back to Vegas. Okay. Io is the greatest wrestler in the company, but her 2 title reigns were literally uneventful and boring. Not her fault, but she's booked horribly as a champ. I kind of agree.
I agree and I disagree. I think this reign, they definitely dropped the ball. Before last night, she had not defended that championship since Mania. Mania was 3 months ago. So that's kind of a problem. And I know she was probably going to face Liv at some point. They teased that on Raw. Liv got hurt. I get it. They should have had her wrestle more. That I agree with. But at least this run, at least she got that Mania triple threat out of it, because that was probably one of the best. That was the best match all year for my money, if not the one that we saw last night. That's the first thing. The second thing, I might be in the minority here. I really liked Io's first reign as champion. She was champion for a while, and she had some great matches on SmackDown and on pay-per-views with Charlotte, Bianca, Asuka, and then that great Mania match last year with Bayley, with Bayley, where she lost it. So I disagree with that last part. The second run was uneventful because they didn't have her defend the championship since Mania. That part I agree with.
I agree with you. I thought the first title, the first time was much better. This was terrible.
Yeah.
Like they didn't know what to do with her. All right, we got to go back. So Jade Naomi with Bianca as the referee.
I mean, ending up knowing what happened, I feel like knowing at the end of the night, it was the smart decision. So
you had her lose because then literally you had Naomi lose. So basically, you're like not thinking about it. It was pretty smart.
Not even just lose, like her finisher through the table from the top rope.
She's just out.
She's done. She's done for the next week. She's gonna have a bandage and stuff. So it was great.
Yeah.
And I actually enjoyed. I love Jade, so I actually really liked that she got the win. So
she actually moved better in this match. She wasn't as clunky.
It was her best match. I think it was her best match since definitely seeing this match compared to the Asuka match.
Yep.
Was horrible. Like it was definitely
it was so bad. This was she can move smooth from
her and Naomi have really good chemistry. Their Mania match I like too when I watched it back. So
it just feels like even though I don't think it's necessarily all that true, it feels like Jade really does benefit from a stipulation. Like when she has these matches in the ring with no stipulation, it's hard to have a long match with her because it doesn't feel like she can create that much.
Yeah, that's true.
The tables and all that stuff. It was a great match. I loved it. It was the second best match yesterday, in my opinion.
Graham, I have a question for your expertise. What do you think happens to Bianca now? What does she go when her finger gets better? What happens?
So I like
Jade
I think the fact that Naomi won the title and went to Raw is definitely for the best, because Naomi should have cashed in successfully regardless of the show, because she needs this title run. I completely agree with what we said. She's been awesome. Moving Naomi to Raw, though, allows us to get Bianca and Jade, like the focus is on them. And you also have Tiffany, among other women on SmackDown. Naomi could have gotten lost in the shuffle had she stayed. Raw could use her more right now, I think, especially with Liv being out. So I like that, especially with Naomi kind of replacing Liv as the top heel on that show. On SmackDown, you got Bianca, Jade, and Tiffany. We're obviously getting Jade and Tiffany at SummerSlam. That's already been confirmed, especially now that Naomi has cashed in successfully. Jade takes the title, I think. I would like a Bianca heel turn, especially if Charlotte's going to be a babyface going forward. I thought Naomi would cash in on Jade. I think Naomi turns on Jade, or not Naomi, Bianca turns on Jade. You get that feud for the fall. Tiffany's also involved. I think that's where we're going with this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this has been teased for so long. Zephyr's like, I thought Bianca was going to turn on Jade, but she acted like a legit referee, which is surprising to me. But I think that now in retrospect is because we were going to get Naomi to win to cash in.
Well, I mean, Bianca, like I had seen some people say maybe she turns on Jade here. Why would she turn on Jade here? Like, I know storyline wise why she would turn on Jade, but if Jade, again, she is facing Tiffany at SummerSlam. You're not going to have Bianca turn heel and then not have her face Jade at SummerSlam. That would just be stupid. Yeah. So save that for SummerSlam or soon after.
Right. I don't think we have. Well, they'll do whatever at WWE, but you don't think they're going to have Bianca turn and then Jade, and then in 2 weeks they're going to be at it at SummerSlam.
Well, that Jade and Tiffany is already confirmed for SummerSlam, so Jade can't face Bianca.
Right.
And also, I think that, like, for sure, I definitely think that's what we're getting. Also, because of the fact that, like you said, Charlotte's a face, but I think that they were waiting to see if Charlotte was going to be a face and it was going to work. But the fact that it's working, I think it's even more of a fact that, like, you can't have, like, literally on SmackDown right now with Naomi leaving, there's like, is it just Nia Jax? Is it the only heel they have over there? Like,
Chelsea Green, I guess.
Chelsea Green, but the crowd likes her too, so it's not even like they have no heel on that roster.
They have Julia, but she's at the mid card level right now. So
And I guess my thought originally to you guys was, how could they turn the EST, who's beloved by little girls, but John Cena's doing it? So I guess
terribly, but he's doing it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Badly, but he's doing it. You know, like, do you want? And everybody wants to see Bianca as a heel.
Yes, I do. Or you know what? Someone's got to turn. Tiffany just turned. I would not turn Tiffany back. Jade is a heel. We know it works from AEW, but I just feel like Bianca, she's been a babyface for so long. That could honestly make Jade even more over as a babyface if you turn Bianca, because people will want to boo Bianca. I don't know. Maybe she'll get cheered. I don't know. But someone's got to turn here. It can't be a three-top babyface.
It's being booed anyway. So
they poured it out the door.
I know. Even she did nothing wrong. That's the best part. She did nothing wrong, and they're still booing her. So honestly, just turn her. Who cares? All
right, our final match before we wrap, we got to talk about the Battle Royal, the Women's Battle Royal. I couldn't stand it because it looked so phony, in my opinion. You know, when they have the spots mapped out and you have like the girls mushed in the corner over here and mushed in the corner, it just felt like it, to me, it did not flow. I felt it was like everyone knew, wait, I got to go here now. I don't know. It just felt awkward. I didn't love it.
I definitely enjoyed that they made the Battle Royale like for a championship match, because like they've done these like Andre the Giant things where it means literally nothing. So I was really glad it wasn't just because originally I didn't realize it was that until like last week when they said it on they showed the graphic. I forgot that it was that and I didn't care. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, so now I have a reason to watch this match because it actually means something. And I liked, I thought it was cool that they had like a Raw, SmackDown, and NXT person at the end. Nikki Bella, like everyone was surprised. People thought she possibly could win, and she said she was going to stay around for a little bit longer. So I think people thought she was going to win. I didn't think she was going to win, but it had to be. It was the right call. I mean, it had to be her. It was makes sense. It had to be Stephanie.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it had to be Stephanie winning. She just made the most sense. Strap the rocket to her like they did with Julia on SmackDown. To go back to what we mentioned a little bit earlier on, like LJ said, I can have no issues. I was not complaining about the fact they did not have like a surprise in there or a couple of surprises. It would have been nice. We like the nostalgia. But what I think they wanted with this show was the focus on the current women. Unlike the last Evolution, which was great, they had a lot more nostalgia on that show because they couldn't fill out a card with the active women that they had. Now, they did have NXT people in here, which is fine. A lot of NXT presence on this show. But they didn't really have to look to the past, like for a Kelly for the 5th time or whoever to fill out this Battle Royal. It would have been nice to see an AJ or a Paige, but, I mean, the AJ thing I'm almost giving up on at this point.
No, if she didn't come back yesterday, she's never coming back. That's just
she's not coming back. I know it breaks your heart, LJ. She's not.
Yeah, she's literally from my town, from where I'm from.
Oh, yeah?
She's coming back. Graham, to your point, Stephanie Vacare.
Yeah, as we can pronounce properly now, more than Nikki Bella, who called her Stephanie Vacquet or whatever a couple days ago. The thing that I
did, Graham and I are next to each other at the thing, at the press event, and Stephanie comes, and I'm looking at her. It was all of us like, how do we say her last name?
Yeah,
and nobody knows, and I'm like, so when she comes to me, I go Stephanie, like I wouldn't say her last name because I don't know. edit it out. I knew Stephanie Vaquer was going to win this. I knew they're elevating her. I thought it was great when Stephanie McMahon gave her the mic and they gave her that speech. She really gave the speech of women empowerment and all of that and global. Like she had the speech. They really, and they obviously see in her, this is a star, and people are behind her. So I thought it was right. Like
entrance, her theme music is great. She has the colors. Everyone has the shirt. Yeah. She had a longer
there you go.
She had a longer promo than Goldberg.
Yeah.
Well, she certainly wasn't cut off like the Goldberg. And I did think Nikki Bella might get further in it because I was like, why is she here? But I'm glad she.
I think they're waiting. Because she was literally going to fight Liv Morgan at this event. So I think that's what they're going to have to do, like her do with. I think Brie Bella might come back and have to do a tag match with them too. So
NXT Star Soul is showing that battle royal. Do you feel that?
They had their moment. They had the save when she did the handstand to the
Kalani Jordan. Yeah,
Kalani Jordan. Last the final two, which I was very surprised about. I think
she's from Atlanta, I think. So I guess I can see that. Yeah.
The one thing that I want to say that this made me feel, did you watch the Gauntlet, AEW's Gauntlet with the women at All In? It was so lame. I was like, these talk about random women. Like it's like their random women feel more random than it just felt like.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. The women they had, and it was fine.
Yeah.
The AEW one. I mean, there were people that we may not have been familiar with, like Alex Windsor just debuted. It's like, I don't know who this is. The woman from Japan, I wasn't sure who she was, but people, the hardcores might know who she is. She hasn't been on the roster until now. I understand what you're saying, though.
You think who has the better women roster right now?
I think it's close in my opinion. I think it's
AEW's is pretty great. I think WWE uses theirs better.
Yeah.
Overall.
I think
even theirs should be better.
Yeah, I think AEW might have these fantastic wrestlers, but WWE seems to utilize the women better at the moment.
So speaking about the women, you think Britt Baker is going to go over there or no? That's the rumor.
At some point, I mean, I could see it. I could totally see it. It sounds like she won't be free from AEW for at least a year. It's just the fact that if she's not hurt, then why aren't we I'm not saying she's like the best woman on the roster because she's not. But like, why wouldn't you just use her though?
Yeah, I like DMD.
Yeah, I like Britt. They have women that are far better than she is at this point. Like when she was the champion, she was like the best they had, but they have way more women now that are way better than she is. But I could see her in WWE, I could say, but I've said this before. I just don't think they need her. Not now, in a year, maybe. But like they already brought over Blake Monroe. They hired Jordan Grace, Julia, Stephanie. Like they definitely do not need Britt Baker right now. But at some point, I could see her there for sure.
All right. So as we wrap, what's the grade for Evolution? A from me.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. I think that was one of the best things they've done in a really long time. And I will say, as like I tweeted this, I was like, it just sucks to see that WWE can still do this, but they still do their 4-match shows. Like it's like you literally had this here this whole time. Like I don't get it. Just give me this all the time.
6 or 7 is the sweet spot, yeah.
And if this weekend wasn't enough, I guess in a few hours we have Monday Night Raw. So I got nothing.
The best. I mean, it's gonna be a pretty important day today. So I guess we'll see.
It's a big day to see what happens and how they handle it.
They have like 4 days to make a SummerSlam card. So
seriously,
I was just saying, like they literally gonna have to just pivot and just start going. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And we're hoping.
And Michael, I'll say, because since we're gonna be there at SummerSlam, I was so excited, and then I get Cody Cena. I'm all excited because I'm a Cena guy. I gotta see him before he's done.
Yeah.
And I see Jelly Roll and Orin. I'm like, now I don't even want to go. So it's like now.
You could say you've seen Jelly Roll in person. You know.
I know it's gonna be great. I just saw him 2 weeks ago. He performed at Post Malone in Orlando, and I was there.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah, it was Post Malone and Jelly Roll. I was like, oh. Great.
I like
WWE superstar Jelly Roll.
Yeah, that's what they announced him as.
Didn't Post Malone get involved in this too?
No, Post Malone was in the video game.
He's in the video game last year, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for this 2-hour.
Still not as long as All In. That show's still going on.
We got out of it 5 hours earlier than All In. So thank you, everybody. Thanks for all the great comments with us this morning. And thank you both. You can find Graham Mirmina at Wrestle Rant and also Bleacher Report. correct?
Indeed, that is correct.
And LJ, you can follow on his TikTok, which there's lots of cool wrestling stuff. Thank you both so much. Have a great week, everybody. And we'll be back soon.